Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and WoodwardSports.com.
Oh, that's right.
Let's go.
That's right. This is Woodward Nights. It's Wednesday night. I'm here with my guy, Brandon Dent, a.k.a. Detroit
Hey,
Kool-Aid.
What up, though?
How you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, man. I'm pumped up. I'm fired up. We've had some good news today as well. So, I'm still on a high off of the Ben Johnson return to Detroit Lions.
So
How you
necessary.
doing, though, brother?
I'm doing great. It's hump day. We got some stuff to look forward to. We're going to be making a little bit of an announcement around 9:30. But we're here to have a great night talking sports. Talking, I think, all four sports tonight. A little bit of Red Wings, a little bit of Pistons. First hour, we're going to be a lot of Lions. Second hour, we're going to mix it up a little bit. But we got a man in the sound booth who goes by the name Nick, a.k.a. Detroit Mario. Nick, say what up.
What up, Woodward Nights? Let's go. You know what it is. Red Wings playing right now. We need a win, and we are looking good after the first period. We just killed a power play to end it. 1-0 Red Wings going into this one. Let's rock.
That's right. And in the TD booth, the man controlling all the images, all the graphics, all this screen time that you guys see, KG.
You know it.
How you doing tonight? Hump day?
Hump day.
Hump day. You've been on a couple shows today.
Yeah, man. I'm getting out here.
I love it.
I think, what was that? Sam called me Truman Show earlier, so
Yeah.
good comparison.
There's been a lot. You know what? Especially on this show, there are a lot of guys at this entire company who are filling in several different roles. You know, we're all doing our thing, getting on the mic, getting our screen time. We appreciate all of you out there who's watching. We got 32 in here right now. Thank you so much. We are just getting started. Nick just gave us a nice little intro to this Red Wings game. It is 1-0. They're playing the Ottawa Senators. The second period is about to start. Nick, do you know who scored that goal?
It was Daniel Sprong.
Daniel Sprong.
Yeah, all that guy
Let's
does
go.
is shoot, and I love him.
I'm Sprong. Dog, she got me.
Damn.
Ottawa was the game. They injured Dylan Larkin the last time they played in Ottawa.
No, it was actually in LCA. I was at that game.
Wow.
Yeah, I was down there. It was a scary sight to see Dylan Larkin down like that. So see him back out on the ice in this game, you know it means more to him and this team to pick up a Red Wings win against Ottawa.
Yeah, I believe Ottawa's in last place in the Atlantic Division. The Red Wings are in fifth with a 26-18 record, so every game in division's huge. Room for a win here. Alex Lyon's in goal. I know I'm sticking on the Red Wings here for a second, but Alex Lyon, he's been playing fantastic, right? I mean, you're our Red Wings guy. You're our Red Wings. I'm going to call you an insider here. You know everything about this team. Alex Lyon's been a huge part of this little resurgence, eh?
Yeah, absolutely balling out as of late, and you can tell from the first period there with another 0. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he's top 5 in the league in save percentage
That's
this
huge.
season. So that's huge. And he was supposed to be our number 3 goalie going into this season. So Alex Lyon becoming a superstar for this team, I don't think anybody had that on their radar going into this year.
We just number 36 just banked it off the post, not the crossbar, the left post. It's almost 2-0 right there.
Yeah.
Appreciate that update, Alex Lyon.
Let's
Have you
go.
guys seen? Did you see the announcement of what's going to be happening at All-Star Weekend in the NBA? Well, 3-point contest between Mr. Steph Curry and Sabrina Ionescu. I thought this was so cool. I don't know what you guys think about this, but Steph Curry, arguably the best shooter, the best three-point shooter of all time, will go head-to-head with Sabrina Ionescu. I don't know where she currently ranks in the WNBA. I know she's one of the best players. If you guys know, feel free to correct me. But I remember watching her in college. She got drafted by the New York Liberty. I think it's just going to be this is just a really unique way to add to All-Star Weekend.
It's going to be a fun watch, for real, man. And I get it, man. With All-Star Weekend, you have to always find a way to kind of evolve, man. Get different ways to get new fans there as well. More eyes on there is better for all of us who appreciate NBA basketball and appreciate what the All-Star Weekend and the All-Star experience is. I'm looking forward to it, man.
Yeah.
I quite am. The whole weekend, yeah.
And bring some exposure to the WNBA, which is on the rise.
Yeah.
And we see Caitlin Clark just dominating at Iowa. I believe they're ranked 5th in the nation. But over the past couple years, women's basketball is starting to take starting to take that next step, I think, getting support from the NBA, from the NBA players. They just got to get more people in the stands, and I think this is an incredible way to do it. This is one of the things you can do between a men's and a women's game. Let's have a 3-point contest. This is one of my favorite things at All-Star Weekend, even before this.
Yeah.
Hey, what they need to do is bring back the Detroit shot.
That is
That's
true.
what they need
to do.
for real, man. Historic
Jeez.
franchise, 3 championships, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's a good way to switch it up, man. Because every year it just seems like the same stuff. I know the dunk contest is kind of falling flat over the years, man, and that's my favorite event. But the next favorite is, of course, the 3-point contest. But it'll be different, a little head-to-head action.
Yeah.
Two of the best shooters from different, genders. It'll be something to see, definitely.
It will, absolutely. But now over to football real quick, and not the NFL quite yet. The Senior Bowl is going on right now. The Reese's Senior Bowl. Have you been seeing some clips on social media?
I've been seeing Roman, man. Go blue, right?
Go blue, right? Roman Wilson.
Yes.
He's been making some plays. There's a lot of people talking about Roman Wilson, wide receiver from the University of Michigan. He's one of those guys who's slowly climbing up draft boards. I think of him like a Jaden Reed from Michigan State last year, Tank Dell. They used the Senior Bowl as a springboard to getting a couple more dollars by getting drafted a little bit higher in the NFL draft. I got a video for you of Roman Wilson. KG, if you'll play that. This is going up against Quinyon Mitchell, cornerback out of Toledo. Actually, this is Quinyon Mitchell going against USC wide receiver, what's his first name? Brendan Rice. Quinyon Mitchell out of Toledo, he's one of those guys. A lot of people are talking about the Lions maybe targeting him in the draft. He's like projected to go in the 20s, mid-20s. I don't know a lot about him yet, but he's starting to be talked about a lot.
Yeah, was this the video? I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, this is it. If you can play this back-to-back. Oh, nice. So this is Roman Wilson going up against Quinyon Mitchell.
Yo, you talking about running a route. Hold on, play that one more time.
Look at that, man. He killed him off the route. And the one hand. Oh, my God. That is nasty. One more time, man.
Uno más, por favor.
Oh, that is just clean route running right there, man. That is clean.
And to catch it, like, not just one-handed, but one-handed behind your back, like, coming back the other way. That's not easy.
Yeah, that's tough, man. That's tough. How do we get both those players on the Lions?
Well, I don't know. Roman would be a nice little 3. Like, that is Josh Reynolds type, 3-4, like, hands, baby. He had a big senior year.
I'm not mad at it either, man.
I'm not mad at that.
KG, one more time for that video, man.
I got you. Give me one second. Here it is.
I did see. I don't know if his route caused Mitchell to trip. I've seen a couple players. I don't know if it's that turf, but I've seen a couple stumbles.
Since it's Roman Wilson, we'll just say it was his route running.
Exactly.
He did that.
Exactly.
He made that happen.
Exactly. There is also, not that I want to bring any attention to the Ohio State University, but as I was scrolling through some of these clips, defensive tackle's a position of need. Am I right for the Detroit Lions?
Yep.
They got a guy, Michael Hall Jr. There was a move I saw him do, a little spin move. Just happens to be on a Michigan Wolverine. But check this out. This is an athlete. I think he's about 275, 280 pounds. They talk about him having really long arms, really long limbs, still a body to fill out and get bigger and get stronger. But this looks like an interior lineman that can rush the passer. I don't know how good he is at stopping the run, but the athleticism on this spin move. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. And it was also the hesitation to the right, too, man. The little juke right there.
Ooh.
That set up the spin move for him.
Let him cook.
It's like Aiden Hutchinson's spin move.
Yep. Only he put a little bit more juke on that thing.
Ooh. I don't know much more about him either. I didn't pay attention to the Ohio State Buckeyes, but I want something like that next to Illy McNeil, next to Aiden Hutchinson. That's like Josh Pascal. Just more of these hybrid guys I'm down for.
Man, you know what makes me actually really, really excited about like seeing these videos, getting more into like the draft talk, the Senior Bowl. It's just how close the Detroit Lions are to really, really, really making like completing this team. Last year we talked about
so close.
We talked about the different things that we wish Brad Holmes would have done leading up to the trade deadline, but there was no way that he was going to go and make this a complete team at the trade deadline. But knowing how good they were this year, how far they got this year, even with some of their deficiencies and the fact that they can now go into this draft, go into this free agency with a boatload of cash, lock up some of their guys that are already here, go out there and add to the talent base of this team. And when you go out there and see all across this field now, on offense and defense, they were looking more and more like a complete team. Because the one thing that I know about the squads that get as far as the Lions do generally, they're pretty solid on both sides of the football.
Yes.
And I believe that this is that summer where the Detroit Lions go out there and they solidify a little bit more on that defense. I don't know what type of a jump or what type of a leap you can make in one offseason in terms of shoring up your complete defensive backfield. But if you can do a combination of what you put on that line to be able to help get more pressure on those quarterbacks, cut down the time that those wide receivers have to run their routes, and then put a little bit of help as well in that defensive backfield, man, I think that this Detroit Lions team becomes something very complete. And honestly, the word I'm going to use for them, this is the word that I want for next year. I want them to be nasty on both sides of the ball. Straight up.
Nasty. I like that. I like that. We're actually talking defense. The to-do list, the offseason to-do list for Brad Holmes is coming up here at 8:15. Although we're talking defense there are two, to give you a little optimism at what Brad Holmes does in the draft, there are two offensive players who have been drafted in the last 2 years that just happen to be now officially Pro Bowlers. They started as replacements, but now we have wide receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jahmyr Gibbs were officially named to the Pro Bowl. I believe Amon-Ra St. Brown is replacing A.J. Brown, and I'm blanking on who Jahmyr Gibbs is replacing. Is it Swift? Or is it who's playing in it? San Francisco.
Christian
McCaffrey. That's who it is. It's McCaffrey.
Yeah.
So just nice to give them a nod. They were number one alternates for their positions.
Yes, sir.
It's cool to see him go. Although if you guys listen to the St. Brown Brothers podcast, I think Amon-Ra was looking forward to a little time off. Season's over. You want
Pro Bowl's a joke now.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm sure there's a little bonus
especially
to
if
it.
he got his experience last year as well.
Yeah.
Maybe he goes out there and defends his trick catch.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah, that was a
the
sick
trick
catch.
catch. Like,
That was sick.
Yeah. I think he wanted to be able to get the Pro Bowl nod and be in the Super Bowl, so he has it on the resume, but he don't actually got to go to the game.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. It's still a decent accomplishment, I guess. Obviously it's a popularity contest, but when you actually are the replacement, this is the league going out there and saying, you know what, we know that you belong to be here. And I think that it does matter to a degree. Obviously not as much as all pro, but it is. I don't know how nice it is or isn't to knowing how the Detroit Lions kind of got knocked out of the playoffs. I don't know how good it's really going to be to be like, oh wow, look at our guys out there.
Yeah.
It's just going to be like, man, I wish they were playing in a big game.
I forget what article I was reading earlier, but it was on Graham Glasgow, I believe, and the writer was saying how he was talking about they have to watch the Super Bowl, which is a team that they beat on the road in week 1 against a team that they feel they should have beat on the road in the playoffs in the NFC Championship game. That would be a tough watch as a player, just missing that moment. But it is the offseason, and there are a lot of decisions to be made. Josh Reynolds is one of them. There's a graphic we got, KG, if you could throw it up. Yeah. Wide receiver Josh Reynolds. I just want to pose to you guys real quick. Is Josh Reynolds a guy that you would want to bring back? Now, I know recency bias.
No. Hard pass.
I know. I guess we know Nick's answer. We saw 2 big drops in the NFC Championship game, but is Josh Reynolds, he was on that Mr. Reliable list.
He was.
Is he someone you want to bring back? Cooley, I'm going to go to you first.
He was consistent all year in those first 2 weeks in the playoffs. I thought that he was one of our MVPs on the team. You want to talk about more than just being reliable. He was going out there and balling like he was a legit number 2 wide receiver during those moments. But as it relates to where this team is supposed to be heading next year, I think that there are some tough decisions that this team is going to have to make, and they've shown to be able to make those tough decisions, whether it be with personnel or whether it be with coaches. And when I saw them last year go and take DeAndre Swift and Jamal Williams and basically throw them to the hyenas on Lions King, you know what I mean? It was like after that, it was just like, whoa, what are y'all doing? Like, this man just broke Barry's record. Like, what are y'all doing? DeAndre Swift is still that guy. But they went out there, they had a plan, and they actually put a better running backfield
Way
together.
better.
It was just like, man, knowing that they have that prowess with them, I am ready to see Brad Holmes go out there and honestly cook to the point that this receiving core is something that we don't have to go into next year thinking twice about. Everybody that's out there is going to do their job. Everybody that's out there could be, if they need be, can move into that number 1 slot if anything ever happened to Amon-Ra St. Brown. That's really where I want them to go. So am I against bringing back Josh Reynolds? I'm not against it. But do I want to see them go out there and kind of do the same thing they did with the running backs last year and upgrade that overall position group? That's what I want to see.
Got you. Nick, Chuck Brewer in the chat said if he's wide receiver 4 or 5, I'm thinking he's going to say yes, but he wants an upgrade at wide receiver 3. What are your thoughts on Josh Reynolds?
Yeah, obviously it's a touchy subject around Detroit right now, and with me specifically because I believe he did cost us that game. I thought those 2 drops were extremely crucial moments of the game where if he catches one of those balls, I believe we win the game. So with that being said, his chemistry with Jared Goff is unlike any other player on our team right now. Him and Josh Reynolds came from the LA Rams, and I believe that holds weight in the locker room on this offense with Brad Holmes, with Dan Campbell. I believe we will re-sign Josh Reynolds because it is Jared Goff's guy, and he does help this offense. I saw a couple people put it in the chat. He was very good in the first 2 playoff games.
Yeah.
And obviously, he was good this season. So, yeah, I think we bring him back, but I know it's touchy right now.
It's touchy. Shane D says his drops in San Francisco were tough, but it wasn't all on him. KG, I'm coming to you.
I just want to stay for the record. I'm
interested in this
about
one, KG.
this.
Don't disappoint, man. I'm interested in your take.
Nah, it's funny. This plays into my segment later, but man, people quickly forget, man. When Josh Reynolds first got here, it was almost like this Lions offense woke up. And he, ever since that day where he arrived in our locker room, he's been absolutely everything you would want a wide receiver 3 to be. Yes, he had a rough NFC Championship game. We do get that, but we can't discount all the work he's done to this point. He was great all year, really carried us in that beginning part of the year. So I'm definitely on the Josh Reynolds bandwagon. Goff has a chemistry with him, had an instant chemistry with him when he walked through the door. And ever since he's been on this team, he's made Goff look better. He comes through in big moments usually. I know he didn't in the game, but normally he's an automatic first down or a big game waiting to happen. So
Yeah.
I'm still on the Josh Reynolds bandwagon. I think we should re-sign him, but it all depends on the price.
Yeah, I'm in too, and I like what Chuck Brewer said, especially as a 4 or 5. If you can find a way to upgrade 3, later in the draft, maybe they're developing Antoine Green. We'll see, but he's so reliable, and he's such a good vet to have with Jared Goff. So,
and I'm not against that either. Knowing that we're always one injury away from needing the next man to step up. Josh Reynolds is a reliable individual. Like I have no problem if he wants to come back at a reasonable price. Wide receiver maybe 4 or 5, but the entire core gets upgraded to a degree with what we do at number 3, and hopefully J-Mo stepping into that number 2 role next year. I'm for that. I'm all for
that's
that.
key. Now, what about, and I want to pose this to you, chat, also, what about Mr. CJ CD Deuce Gardner Johnson? Would you bring him back? Hold that thought. We will talk about that when we get back. Kool-Aid, if you could tell him about Lady James.
You tease. I was about to fire off my answer, but instead, I'm going to talk about Lady James. Come to Lady James Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience. Register to win a trip of your dreams and all expenses paid. Sweet for the 2024 NCAA tourney. That's right, no expense spared for you and 5 of your best buds. Lady James Haircuts for Men open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It is wicked awesome.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and WoodwardSports.com. Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at WoodwardSports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Your home is your most important asset. Flexibility in the sales process is key. When you work with Mark White & Associates, you can cancel at any time, for any reason, without penalty. Speaking of flexibility, check this out. Who you work with matters. Hire the best broker in the game.
We are back. This is Woodward Nights. This is a brand new Nights. I appreciate you guys all for tapping in. If you could hit that like, it would really appreciate it. I'm with my man, Brandon Dent, a.k.a. Detroit Kool-Aid.
What up, though, man? Look, I had to wear the Honolulu Blue Kool-Aid tonight.
Support him. You can keep supporting them.
Yeah,
We're here to
gotcha.
celebrate this
Gotcha.
season. We had Monday to mourn. We had Monday to be depressed and think about that 49ers loss. But we're back. We celebrated with the award show yesterday. That was fun.
Yes, sir.
Now we're here. We're talking. It took me a while. I didn't want to jump into offseason yesterday. I wasn't ready to move on from this team and these players. But the fact that they played so late into the season, this draft is going to sneak up on us. The Senior Bowl is happening right now. The Combine's coming up. So we got to at least talk high level the to-do list for this offseason. What do you think they're going to do? I want to talk about the defense in this segment here, and I pose the question to you guys. C.J. Gardner-Johnson, C.D. Deuce, a polarizing player to some. I think he's a great teammate. I think he's an important guy in the locker room. Some people think he might not be worth it to bring him back. It might be too expensive. We don't know how much he's going to cost. Kool-Aid, what would you do?
I've heard Terry Foster say this for years. For years. We don't need a whole team full of choir boys. Sometimes you need a player that can walk on a little bit of swag. You need a player that can cause a little bit of controversy. You need a player, honestly, that can help your team go to another level as it relates to the confidence that they carry and the swag that they carry out up there on the field. And I do believe C.J. Gardner-Johnson is that guy. I do. There was just a completely different feel, even with the fans, bro, as it relates to when he stepped out there. When he got back, you look at that, man. 2 interceptions in the playoffs. He came right away, and he's a very opportunistic player. Is there things that he needs to clean up? Definitely. He was not perfect in his return, but it was just his first game back, second game back, third game back in those playoffs, going up against some of the best players in the NFL. And so I don't necessarily give him a pass, but I would like to see that type of a guy back. I don't think that he was a locker room cancer at all.
No.
I don't believe that he was an individual that didn't motivate his teammates to go the extra mile. I think that he was somebody who was absolutely encouraging to his teammates. I personally would bring C.J. Gardner-Johnson back to the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, I would too, for all those reasons. He brought such an edge, such energy to this team. And even when he was away, he still was in contact with these players. He still was hyping up some of the young guys, bringing them confidence. And then it picked right up. As soon as he came back into the locker room, there were a couple weeks where he wasn't playing in the games yet. He was coming off that IR. They were getting him acclimated to the team. That's when Iffy started playing his best. That's when that secondary started getting all those takeaways. I think it was 7 interceptions in the 2 or 3 games before he came back. While you can't give all the credit to him, I do think there's something to be said about that. In the secondary, that's where this team needed some help. And that safety room brought so much to him. So I agree with you. I don't think he's a cancer to the locker room at all. I think he's that swag, that edge that they need.
Yeah, and Just a Fan says CJ will have to play much better and be willing to platoon. He said he doesn't want to platoon. Drake Sherman said I would 100% bring CJ back. He is too good. Michael said just retire the blue ski mask.
Man.
Well, so it's interesting. I agree. Retire the ski masks. Those are gone. They were bad luck. They lost that game. But think of how excited this whole city was when that happened. The energy around the entire city. It didn't work out. They lost that Seattle Seahawks game, but there was just something fun. Like, I know that's kind of a basic word, but the whole city was rallying around blue ski masks.
But the reason why I kind of liked it is because of this, man. The Lions, and behind Dan Campbell and the words that he said is this: we are the hunter. We are the hunters. You know what I mean? And that to me is the type of edge that C.J. Gardner-Johnson brings to the table. He's one of those guys that's going to go out there, put it all on the table, and it could be something that ultimately just let me watch my words. It could be something that turns out very, very badly if it doesn't work out for him. But I like that type of pressure, man. I really do. I like that he's not afraid to honestly push and push and push. I'm for that, especially with this Detroit Lions team that overachieved this year.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, when you do those types of things, of course, if you lose those games, you're going to get Seattle in the locker room putting on the ski mask and doing all the dances and all that. You're going to get the stuff with Deebo Samuel and all of that. But that's because you are a predator, and you're going up against other predators as well. That's what's going to wind up happening. I like the edge that he brings. If the whole entire team was doing that type of stuff, I would say maybe it's a distraction. But when he's kind of your captain of chaos, I absolutely like that aspect of a player on your squad, man. I love it.
Yeah, I love it.
I love it.
I love it. KG, You got C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Emmanuel Mosley's an option. Kendall Vildor's an option. These are all unrestricted free agents.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll throw Will Harris in that group too. Is there anyone that stands out in that group? What's your take on C.J. Gardner-Johnson? And of those other three, are you bringing them back too?
Well, CJ is not. We talked about it on the morning show. He's not a priority per se, but there's still room for him on this defense. I would maybe give Emmanuel Mosley another shot just to see what it is, but I would have him as a depth piece. I wouldn't have him as my main go-to throughout the season. But I mean, with the ski mask thing, you either get it or you don't. I'm so sick of people like looking too deep into the ski mask thing. That's just where I'm at with it. But you want guys like this on your team, especially on the defensive end of the ball. You need dogs like C.J. Gardner-Johnson. And I don't care what anybody says. A lot of people look too much into he said he didn't want to be a rotational piece. When you're a talented player like C.J. Gardner-Johnson, he understands that, yes, I may need to be a rotational piece, but he's been a starter everywhere he's been. Of course, he doesn't want to give up his starting spot, and that's not to slight his teammates. That wasn't to put Iffy under the bus. That was more so to encourage his locker room and let them know, hey, I'm coming. It's a competitive nature, and you want to see that on your defense, man. But I think he's done absolutely great. He came back. He got a pick. He got a pick in the playoffs. That was pretty instrumental. I just want to see a full season with him under AG. He's a big fan of AG and Dan. He's been with them. I just want to see what a full season of that looks like. But absolutely for the right price. I'm not overpaying. I think we brought it up on the heavies. I would do 2 for $10 because I think his 1-year contract was like 6.5. Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't go over 10 because he was injured and things of that nature, but I definitely think he deserves another shot in the Lions uniform.
Yeah, you may try to pair him. If AG comes back, if you can convince him to take another 1-year contract or a 2-year.
Yeah. I
know he's looking for a long term, but maybe you can use these injuries the last 2 years to your advantage. Nick, I'm coming to you. We got defensive line, linebacker, or secondary.
I'm intrigued, Nick.
Is there an area there? I know the defensive line, you could want to edge opposite Hutch, maybe a defensive tackle next to Liam. Linebacker, do you need any reinforcements? Do you need a fast coverage linebacker? And then the secondary, how many cornerbacks do you need?
Exactly.
Where are you going first?
That's why I want to pose a question back to you,
hit me
fellas,
back.
because we definitely need an outside corner, and we know that safety room is loaded, stacked. We saw Brian Branch, which you alluded to on Monday, get the lowest amount of snaps on defense that he's played all season in that San Francisco game. And Chauncey Gardner-Johnson had his worst game all season in that San Francisco game as well. So you're paying a guy to come back that is taking away from a young player in Brian Branch when we gave up 34 points in that game. And he had the worst game maybe of his career against the San Fran. And we saw him completely blindside Deebo Samuel, who he's had trouble with in the past. In that big of a situation, does that not scare you guys moving forward to give him a contract over somebody that can play an outside cornerback slot? That's where I want to push this one to you guys.
I'm cool with it. I think he can make such a difference in that locker room and on the field. Like, I think he can bring the most out of Brian Branch. I think he can bring the most out of Iffy. Having a veteran like that, some guy who's led the league in interceptions, someone who plays with that kind of grit and toughness, I want that on my team. Yeah. Especially considering the rest of the team, they're not choir boys, but they're that other breed of just...
Their edge is different.
Yeah,
man.
exactly. You need one or two, like you said.
Yeah.
Like you said.
You can do both, too.
Yeah.
They have the money and the draft capital to be able to keep CJ and also add a pretty stud corner, outside corner. So I do believe that he should come back.
Yeah. We got about $58.6 million in cap space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 draft picks. 4 of which are round 3 or before.
In the chat?
Put up a poll,
Yeah, for C.J. Gardner-Johnson.
Yeah, I got
bringing him back.
Let's do that.
Another question just wanted to pose real quick, Broder. Who are you guys taking snaps away from with Iffy playing so well, Kirby playing so well, Brian Branch playing so well? Who are you taking snaps away from if you bring back a guy like Chauncey Gardner-Johnson? Because I believe those 3 guys can be stars on this Detroit Lions defense.
See, that's the question of the year. That's the $64 million question.
AG has utilized all of the safety room because it is such a deep room. Like we saw him towards the end of the year utilize Iffy and CJ and Brian Branch, all kind of on the field at the same time. I think he can make it work. personally. But what do you guys think?
Can he make it work if they go and address and bring in more cornerbacks? Like if they add a L'Jarius Sneed or a Jalen Johnson, I know I'm talking two guys that I would like. If they add a couple pieces, can you still have 4 safeties on the field? I mean, it kind of falls into AG's hands.
True,
the defensive coordinator.
Branch plays more the nickel role anyway, so I would just have CJ as more of like a traditional safety. But I mean, it just depends on how many outside corner guys that you do bring in. But if you bring one in, you could definitely use them. If you bring 2 in, I don't know. But that's up for AG to decide. You want him to have more weapons than not. So,
but you know what it's honestly showing us? It's what we talked about in the beginning of this show. The Lions are not at a position like when they initially brought in guys like Mosley and they brought in guys like CJ Gardner-Johnson, the talent level was just much lower at that point in time. Cam Sutton, and they wanted to be able to get a nice mix of vets to go with some of their younger defensive backfield players. Now you're at a position, like Nick said, where some of these younger guys are looking like they could absolutely be, stars or plus players moving forward. And you still have some of these vets that have also contributed in some way, whether it be in the locker room, because everyone was like, what is Cam Sutton doing? But then you talk to a lot of the players, and they're saying, hey, look, Cam Sutton is that deal in this locker room. He is one of our leaders. CJ Gardner-Johnson, I'm going to keep calling him an agent of chaos. He's one of those guys as well. But it's now to a point where they can go out there and they can make these signs. Like I said, it's just like the running backs. I think this is the year that with the defensive backs, somebody's going to get pushed out. Why? Because the talent level has risen. Somebody's going to get pushed out.
Yeah.
And I think it's a good problem to have if you're the Detroit Lions, if you're Brad Holmes. And we know that he is not afraid to make those decisions. Like Dan Campbell, bro, fired his friend and Anthony Lynn. Brad Holmes went and said, hey, Jamal, thank you very much. After that speech, man, then the last game of the season, it was just like,
he broke Barry's
Detroit
record.
Lions, man. We just quit playing with us. And Brad was like,
see ya.
yeah.
I mean, it was on him. He didn't take the deal, so that's on him.
If
True.
you want to piss like a puppy, stay on the effing porch. That was another great one.
He had some
It's a
intense.
good problem to have, though, man.
It
It's
is.
a really good problem. And it's just like how tough the awards were the day before, because we saw how much talent was on here, how well the rookies did, how well the young players did, how well the veteran players did, how well our star players did. It was tough to be able to parse those things. Now we're sitting here looking at the offseason to-do list, and it's like, yo, this is going to be kind of just as tough as that, just because of where this team is at right now. And it's a completely different place than I'm honestly used to with the Detroit Lions.
Without a doubt. Bruce Bredrock asked me a question I want to answer. We want to send it around when we come back from break. He says, Broder, what do you think about in free agency by re-signing Glasgow, signing offensive lineman Robert Hunt, defensive end Daniil Hunter, Steven Gilmore, Antoine Winfield Jr.? I'm going to pose some of these questions to you. I know I want a big boy in free agency or in the draft. Kool-Aid, can you tell us about Big Boy?
Yeah. Wintertime in Detroit is always better with comfort foods from Big Boy. Try the veal parmigiana or the new Southern Comfort chicken bowl. How about breakfast? The stuffed potato pancakes are back, the classic lumberjack or Santa Fe Garde. Also, new apple pie hotcakes that are too good to miss. Top it all off with the new gingerbread shake for dessert. Stop by your local Big Boy today.
Have you ever wondered where all the finest restaurants get their steaks? It's Fairway Packing Company, providing Michigan restaurants, hotels, and casinos with prime beef for over 60 years. But now you can buy these cuts of meat for yourself at the Steak Shop by Fairway Packing Company. Prime porterhouse, A5 Japanese New York strip steak, dry aged Wagyu beef tomahawk. Delicious. Get to the Steak Shop today. Enjoy fine wine, have a private party, and get the finest cuts of meat anywhere. The Steak Shop on Mack Avenue in Grosse Pointe Woods, or order online, fairwaypacking.com.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win an all-expenses-paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament for you and 5 of your best buds. That's right, college basketball's most elite event. You and your 5 best friends just get to any Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically register to win the trip of your dreams. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime.
What happens when you run a great business for over 50 years? You expand and you offer more products to more people. That's exactly what Les Stanford did by adding Les Stanford Buick GMC. They still have the same great service that customers have come to know and trust, and you can find them on Woodward Avenue just south of 9 Mile, or check out their main dealership in Dearborn today. So you know what? Find the brand you want at lesstanford.com.
So you have a question for us, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
I'm ready for
What question do I have for you?
You said that somebody from the chat.
Oh, yeah. Bruce Bedrock. He was posing a question, a couple free agents who we may be. Actually, I want to talk about one of the free agents that the Detroit Lions are considering re-signing, an unrestricted one named Graham Glasgow. There's also a man named Jonah Jackson. I want to talk about them first, and then I want to address some of these free agents because he threw around the name Daniil Hunter. He threw around the name Antoine Winfield Jr. Bruce Bedrock, you're teasing me, man. These are names that I would dream of having on this team. Can they afford them? We'll see. But we appreciate you all for being here. I'm following the chat. I see you guys. Thanks so much for all your interaction. If you could hit that like, I would really appreciate it. So my first question I'm going to pose: Jonah Jackson. Actually, we're going to combine Jonah Jackson and Graham Glasgow together. Jonah has been with the Lions for 4 years. Drafted out of Ohio State. He's probably going to command a decent little contract as a guard.
Yeah.
He's been injured. He's had some injury issues kind of throughout his whole career. But when he's on the field, I believe he's a top 10 guard. He has top 5 potential. That offensive line is different with him. On the flip side, a more veteran player, Graham Glasgow, out of Michigan, came back, can play 3 different offensive lineman positions. He filled in at center, filled in at left guard, right guard. He can do a lot. Do you have a preference, Kool-Aid? Are you paying a little more to Jonah Jackson to bring him back? Are you giving probably a little smaller contract to Graham Glasgow, but have that stability, that versatility? What are you thinking?
Look, man, I like what Jonah Jackson brings. Obviously, I think every Detroit Lions fan does. But with Graham Glasgow, when he's kind of showing that he's willing to kind of take a pay cut or work with the Detroit Lions, he is a little bit more versatile, which means if we take a hit on that offensive line, an injury or something of that nature, he is somebody that you can kind of move around that offensive line, depending on the type of packages, run designs and run plays or protection for golf that you want to run, depending on where you want to place him. I think that he fits. And one of the things I've absolutely loved about this team is, despite what we could see sometimes as deficiencies, even when players have gotten injured this year, they've been able to find ways to scheme around that. They've been able to find ways to say, you know what, it's just not going to affect us this much. Think about all the different injuries that hit the defense and hit, throughout the year, that offensive line. But this Lions team was still 12-5. This Lions team still found a way to run the football. This Lions team still found a way to relatively keep golf clean. You know what I mean? And
That's key.
Yeah, in games that Jonah Jackson didn't play in as well. And so when I look at it from that perspective, and I saw somebody else say earlier in the chat that, hey, the Lions won a lot of games without CJ GJ. And, taking that kind of line of thinking, that train of thought, and that this is an off season where I think that they need to go and get, playmakers or stars more so on the defensive side of the ball. This is one in which I look at Graham Glasgow and I say, I think that's a little bit more attractive, versatile option than Jonah Jackson at this point.
Yeah, save a little money, a little less injury concern. Graham Glasgow is also Taylor Decker's best friend. They go way back. They're very close. So just that bond that offensive line has, which Jonah Jackson is a part of. Terry Foster, when we were in the locker room earlier in the season, he went around asking the different offensive linemen, hey, if you were getting in a fight, who's the one offensive lineman you would want to join you would want as your sidekick? And I believe Jonah Jackson was the overwhelming favorite. Something I didn't really think about, how his teammates view him going to battle. They want Jonah Jackson. So
that matters too.
Got to see how much that factors in.
That matters too, man. That's a really, really good point, because that locker room health, that's something important. When you talk about the types of runs that the type of run that the Lions did have this season, sometimes it has everything to do with what's going on in our locker room and what's going on between those players and the relationships that they have. I don't know how much you really want to mess with that type of chemistry, but I do trust whatever Brad Holmes is going to do. And I do believe that the Detroit Lions can sustain if they don't have him. But obviously, if Jonah Jackson's there, he's going to make a difference.
Yeah, Bruce Bedrock has an option. He says, Broder, I'm bringing Glasgow back and getting Robert Hunt. He can play tackle and guard, and he will be cheaper than Jonah Jackson. I'm definitely going to look into Robert Hunt a little more. But Nick, Ben Johnson is coming back. This offense is pretty stable. Do they need to make any major moves? And I'm talking offensive line or anywhere else on this offense. Where do you stand on what they need to address the offense?
I think the biggest thing that this team needs to do is for sure bring Glasgow back. That's where it starts. And then you let Jonah walk. You spend some of that money on the defensive side of the ball because you are saving with bringing Glasgow back. And then in the top 4 picks of this draft, because you have 2 third-rounders as well, you have to lock down that other guard position for the next 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
That's where I would go with it. I would use a high-resource draft pick to make sure that this offensive line remains elite, because we've seen what this team looks like with great offensive line play. We dominate in the run game, and Jared Goff looks like a top 5 quarterback. So I do not want to get away from that. We need to keep the resources into this offensive line. So that is the drastic change, which isn't really a change that I would make.
Yeah.
But it's just putting more resources into that O-line.
Yeah, pick 29. A lot of times some of the draft's best guards, some of the draft's best interior offensive linemen fall to that, mid-20s, late 20s spot. So definitely a consideration. But in this draft, KG, I'll throw this at you. Are you staying put at 29? This is obviously we're right at the beginning of this. Are you staying put at 29? Are you going up to go get an elite player at a position? I'm thinking Kool-Aid McKinstry. I'm thinking you were talking about Chop Robinson on the heavyweights. You might be able to get him at 29. What's your draft strategy in the first round?
That's tough, man, because it all depends on how the board shakes out. But I trust Brad Holmes to know if he wants a player, he's gonna go get him. We know that. We've seen him do that. And I would personally try to move up for a more elite talent, depending on where he decides to attack. Of course, I wouldn't move up for an O-lineman. I feel like you can get one in later in the first round if you want to spend the first round pick on an O-lineman. But as far as defense, you can definitely move up and get a premier talent as a corner, edge rusher, or interior defensive lineman. But that's the only way I would move up. It would have to be for a defensive piece. Otherwise, I'm staying put.
Got you. I want to hear from the people. I want to hear what you're thinking about with this draft, with free agency. So we're going to open the phone lines right now. We're going to take callers here in this next segment. Yeah, it's 8:45, but I want to take callers right now. Give us a call. We're going to talk off-season thoughts. You can go high level. You can go draft. You can go free agency. You can go whatever route you want. We're going to try to get through a couple people. So come with a question, a thought, anything. We're going to see how this goes. But before we do, I got to tell you about Dispo Dispensary.
Tell them.
You can experience Dispo Dispensary. They have a team that curates an unbelievable atmosphere. They're now giving out 2 tickets plus hotel and flight accommodations to this year's big game in Vegas between the San Francisco 49ers and Kansas City Chiefs. So go on Dispo's Instagram page at Dispo Michigan and follow the directions in the pinned post, or scan the QR code and it will take you there. Let's get you Lions fans to Vegas. Dispo Dispensary, DispoShops.com, your local cannabis plug.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win an all-expenses-paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament for you and 5 of your best buds. That's right, college basketball's most elite event. You and your 5 best friends just get to any Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically register to win the trip of your dreams. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media. Thank you to all the fans for making Woodward Sports your #1 online destination for Detroit sports. We promise not to drop the ball. Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and WoodwardSports.com.
Welcome back. This is Woodward Nights.
Let's go.
The things that happen when we're off camera, in between breaks, we got about 60 seconds. There are jokes flying everywhere. Everywhere. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm with my guy, Brandon Dent, a.k.a. Detroit Kool-Aid. We got Nick in the sound booth, and we have KG in the TD booth. He is the technical director. You about to say something?
Yeah, Red Wings down 2-1 going into the third period. Bad. Poor second period from the Red Wings. we need to do better than that. Need to win this game. Got to come out firing on all cylinders in the third.
Oh, absolutely. Bada bing, bada boom in the chat says, Holmes isn't staying put. No chance. He's going to get aggressive this year. He's going to get that cornerback, offensive lineman, and defensive lineman this draft. I also want to see him go after another wide receiver. Someone like Gabe Davis. Interesting.
Nice.
Interesting. He's not going back to Buffalo. That's an interesting one. Interesting. Eduardo. I'm interested to hear Eduardo, who called. I believe he's on the line right now. I'm interested to see what he has to say, whether it's to that question or Eduardo, you got your own question for us. How you doing tonight, man?
Ed, you are live.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, Ed, how you doing?
What up, though?
Listen, so I got to go back to work real quick, but I got two quick questions. All right, let's say, for starters, wherever we're picking, right, the number one shutdown corner is there, or the best elite guard. What are we doing? Which one are you prioritizing? And then my other question is, right, I know we're all defense. Let's say in some random world, Marvin Harrison Jr. drops all the way down to us. Do you take him over a defensive need? That's my two questions that I have for you guys.
Did you catch those two questions, Nick? I could hear it a little bit. It was just a little muffled.
Yeah, I heard the second one. If Marvin Harrison Jr. drops, do we take him over the defensive need? But what was the first one?
The first one is, would you rather take an elite offensive lineman in this draft or an elite cornerback?
Ooh, okay, awesome. Eduardo, thank you so much for calling. We appreciate your call. Everyone else, give us a call, 313-552-6322. So you're going after an elite offensive lineman or an elite cornerback in this draft? I want both, but I start on the defensive end. As much as I want to just refuel that offensive line, if you can go get, maybe it's Kool-Aid McKinstry. There are a couple cornerbacks being considered.
Yeah.
I think you got to know who your guy is and go up and get him, because cornerback's hard, especially in that first round. We've seen it here in Detroit in the past. It hasn't always worked out. So you got to be confident to go get him. But if you are, so you think you have the next Sauce Gardner or Derek Stingley or Jair Alexander, you got to go get him, right?
Yeah, I really want them to upgrade this defensive unit just as a whole. I feel like our offense is one of the best in the league. We know that. This offense is closer to being completed. So sometimes I do think, you know what, do they just go and continue to add just a few more elite pieces here? Sometimes it's easier to do that and cheaper to do that through the draft. Or do they just go towards the defensive side, which I want them to take the cornerback. I think you guys know which cornerback I want them to be aggressive and take.
Detroit Kool-Aid, who do you want? What cornerback?
McKinstry out of Alabama. Let's go.
Hey.
You guys would be connected for life.
For life, man. For life. Like I don't know. Like just something about the defensive back issues that we've seen all season just makes me like I'm almost like annoyed with this. Like, go figure this thing out. And seeing how well Brad Holmes has done in the draft at bringing in talent that has wound up elite. And honestly, he's done this no matter where he's selected. You know, whether it's selecting a player high or whether it's going and finding a gem like Amon-Ra St. Brown, I'm going to trust whatever he decides to do, even if that was with this first round pick. And I don't foresee him doing this at all, but trading back for multiple shots in the second round. I would rather him, if he's going to trade the pick, trade it to be a little bit more aggressive. But ultimately, I trust whatever he's going to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Kool-Aid McKinstry, that would be 3 straight Alabama players taken in the first round with Brian Branch, Jamison Williams, and then hypothetically Kool-Aid McKinstry. On the flip side, that second question that Eduardo asked, KG. So he said Marvin Harrison, if he falls, I don't know how far he's going to fall, but let's hypothetically say he falls to 7 or 8, maybe 10. Is that enough of a fall for you to go do whatever you can to go up and get that man?
I don't think so.
Not worth it?
I like Marvin Harrison a lot, but let's say if he were to drop to 15, then maybe I'd consider some things. But in the top 10, I'm not doing it because that's not necessarily a need for this team. It would be nice to have him because then you look at the possibility of moving J-Mo to the slot, and man, with that speed, and then you have Marvin Harrison on the outside with Amon-Ra St. Brown. Jesus, man. And then we know Brad Holmes' track record of like going to get the best player available. Position value don't mean a damn thing to this man. He's going to take somebody who he feels is going to help this team immediately. Marvin Harrison would help this team immediately. I'm just not going up to the top 10 to get him.
It'd be just an embarrassment of riches on offense.
It would be ridiculous.
I mean, look, we
Ridiculous.
talked about it earlier, though, upgrading this wide receiver position. If there's one on the offensive side of the ball, it's the wide receivers that I would want them to upgrade. If you could do that through the draft, man, Marvin Harrison is definitely a player that would do that.
It's kind of like if you're gonna upgrade, it would be the traditional number one type, an outside guy, a big guy who could go up and get a ball in the red zone. Amon-Ra St. Brown is our number one, but a guy like that, Nick, what's up?
And speaking of a guy like that, you think of a guy like Romo Duze that maybe falls to 20. Is that a guy, KG, that would do it for you where you are moving up 9 spots instead of 19?
Still, though, it's just need, man. I want to draft.
It's flashy.
Yeah, it is flashy. I want to draft off need. If we going to get a receiver, I'd much rather just sign an experienced one. But, I mean, you can't go wrong if you get one in the first round. You get the rookie deal, and you get a little more flexibility and at a way cheaper price. But I'm just not doing receiver in the first round.
Yeah, I'm almost like it's either you go get the best Marvin Harrison, go get that number one, or stick to your plan, which has to be defense, maybe an offensive lineman, an interior guy.
The cool thing is that this team is so much better than it was a year or two ago that even if they decide, you know what, we'll go with somebody on the offensive side of the ball, that just moves this offense from really good to that much closer to elite. You know, that can be something that helps to overcome some of those defensive deficiencies that they've shown in the defensive backfield. But I think that this is a year where we're going to come away and I don't think we're going to have many holes on either side of the ball at all after this summer. And that ultimately is what makes me very, very, very encouraged about what the 2024 Detroit Lions are going to be.
Scary. They should be sponsored by Dispo because they're about to plug those holes. Nick, that came off not as clean as I expected.
Very much a pause.
Where's Maurice Jones-Drew when you need him? Yep, sorry about that. Nick, we got someone else on the line. We got 2 people.
We got Kevin from Fort Wayne, Indiana. Kevin, you're live.
Oh, Kevin. How you doing, man?
Big Kev.
What up? No.
What up?
Just a quick question about the draft. First off, brother Kool-Aid, you've been separating great, long-time watcher. First time ever calling into any Woodward show, though.
Hey.
Thank you, Kevin.
Well, my thing is, they like the yeah. We know we like those Iowa boys can ball. Your thoughts on getting Cooper DeJean? Get him somehow. Maybe he falls. He's got the injury, and then for the defensive line, you got to go veteran. Hunter, maybe Matabuki, something like that. Bring the defense. Bring Mosley back in for short-term CJ, but get something like Cooper. You know, you think he might drop a little bit because he was injured. He could be there. He's got the talent. I mean, I'm not sure if he's going to make the combine, but look at all the other Iowa boys. There's Campbell. They're hard worker. They're Campbell kind of boys.
Yeah,
what do you think?
If there's one thing that you can know, this team, and Kevin, we do appreciate you calling. Those are great questions and great points. I want all of those players, to be honest. Matabuke, Daniil Hunter, bring them in. But Brad Holmes and the scouting staff, they're going to know everything about Cooper DeJean. They have this now tie-in to the Iowa defense, to the Iowa to the entire Iowa program.
Iowa, period.
Yeah. I mean, I'm cool with Jack Campbell and Sam Laporta in this last draft. So I like Cooper DeJean. I don't know if I'm sold on him as that first round pick for this Detroit Lions team at this time, especially with some injury concerns. But man, he's had a great career at Iowa.
Yeah, for me personally, it's if I'm going first round, especially if they're trading up, I'm looking to lock down that defense, man. I just am. I really want them to move this because with the players that you have, like Anzalone, like Aiden Hutchinson, like Brian Branch, you got some pieces like Aleem McNeil, like the young defensive backs that like Kirby Joseph and Iffy and those guys that can step up another level. I really want to see the Detroit Lions go into next year and be a team that is much more balanced rather than one that has to depend on the offense scoring so much to try and keep them in games. Or, hey, we can't do anything between the 20s to stop you, but in the red zone will be good. The problem is when you run up against a team like the San Francisco 49ers, who have a lot of different ways to beat you in the red zone, that's where it begins to become a problem because the first half, their traditional defense worked. The second half, when the 49ers kind of schemed some things, it was just like, you know what? That's when I started to realize, no, they got to go out there and they got to get somebody who can actually absolutely play that Cam Sutton role a little bit better than Cam Sutton. They got to get somebody that can absolutely go out there, and if it's not helping Aiden Hutchinson get to the quarterback and get the sacks, then it's that player themselves being able to get into the backfield and making it happen. So for me, I'm looking for defense. Obviously, if there's a wide receiver out there, if it's Marvis and Harrison, then you do what you got to do.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. I'm really hoping that they get aggressive looking at cornerbacks. I'm hoping they get aggressive at putting somebody on the line. But what I do agree with what it's called is going for a veteran to put on that defensive line.
Yeah, so I want a veteran
like that.
and a rookie. Like, I want them to address it in the draft and go get man strength. Get dad strengths. A 28 to 32-year-old. Even like last season, a Quinnen Williams, a veteran who went to
That would have been nice.
was it Atlanta?
Yeah.
Like someone like that can add something. Then you bring in a rookie who's just going to bring that energy. You with that, KG?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Nick, we got someone else on the line. Kevin, that was a great call.
Yeah, thank you so much, Kevin. And we're going to one of the OGs, and it's Mike Hilton.
Mikey, how you doing, man?
Oh, can you guys hear me?
Loud and clear.
Nice. Not sure if you guys have covered this yet, so sorry if I'm asking something that's already been asked.
Good.
I'm curious about kickers, whether it's free agency or the draft. Is there anyone I should be looking out for?
Man, this is a tricky question. I've been thinking about this a lot. I haven't done enough deep dive and research into who really is out there, but I want a veteran kicker. Like, I don't know I know Will Lutz, I think, from New Orleans is available. Kaim Fairbanks from Houston, but we saw with Jake Moody.
Yeah.
Although his team's in the Super Bowl, so it's all kind of worked out. Even some of the best college kickers, you never know what you're going to get that rookie season. I just feel like they would be in the same situation. So I just want someone you can rely on from 40 to 50 yards. Regardless of the conditions outside, they can just kick a 40 to 50-yard field goal and has a pretty decent percentage over 50.
I agree. You got to go with experience in that position, especially when the pressure is on. I want somebody who it's like clockwork when they step up there and they kick those field goals rather than somebody who might be in their own head a little bit and has that pressure of, you know what, I don't want to let this team down. I want somebody who knows how the wind in some of these NFL arenas, especially when you have to play outdoors. I want them to know how the wind affects things in those arenas. I want somebody who, when they go into these types of NFL domes, they know exactly how the noise and how the crowd and how these types of factors can affect things. I want somebody who has that experience because the Lions aren't just trying to win games. They're trying to win playoff games now. And it's a completely different level of competition at that point. And you want your players who can step up, understand what it is. Like we talked about how the 49ers had so many experienced players who understood what playing in the NFC Championship game was. Our Lions had what? GJ?
Yeah. They had 7 people who played in a Super Bowl, including CJ Gardner-Johnson, and 3 Rams, Goff, Josh Reynolds, and Jake McQuaid.
Yeah. I want somebody that is experienced at that kicker position.
Yeah. I'm with you. Nick?
One guy that won. After you, Mike.
I definitely agree there. I don't expect that we're going to get a Tucker or, hell, even another Prater. I don't know where Prater is. I don't even know if he's in his prime, as you could say now. So, I mean, I really don't – I don't expect us to get some guy that's going to be kicking 60-plus yarders. I just want someone reliable, like you said, between 40 and 50. That'd be great, like another Jason Hanson.
Yes. And Mike, I really appreciate that call. We want a kicker next year who will be at the end of the year in that Mr. Reliable award.
Yeah, no doubt there. And a guy to look out for, if you watched that semifinal game between Michigan and Alabama, is Will Reichard.
Good
I
call.
believe that's how you pronounce his name. That dude was blasting field goals, going up there with confidence and sinking them. 50 plus doesn't matter for this kid. If you put him in a dome, I think he'll be spot on. It's all about when he's going to be available, how long in the draft. That is a guy to look out for to be your kicker, your next Jason Hansen for the next 15 years, hopefully.
Yeah, Shane
if he's
D.
there in like the 5th.
Yeah, Shane D said that in the chat. Bama has the best kicker in a while coming out this year. Will Riker. We got one more on the line, right?
Yes.
We're going to take a quick break. Keep him on the line, or him or her. We're going to take a quick break. We'll come right back. We'll take this last caller and see what he or she has to say. Kool-Aid.
Yes,
Can you
sir.
tell us about Planet Fitness, please?
I can. Planet Fitness is home of the judgment-free zone where anyone, and we mean anyone, can feel comfortable and work on their fitness goals. At Planet Fitness, you will experience a squeaky clean gym that has tons of equipment, a full body workout in just 30 minutes, and all memberships include fitness training. You get all of this for just $10 a month, no commitment. No matter where you are, there's a Planet Fitness close by. There are more than 50 in Metro Detroit and thousands more throughout the world. Visit your local Planet Fitness today or visit them online at planetfitness.com.
Savor the heart of home at Big Boy with our all-new down-home comfort dishes. Feast on home-style goodness with our Southern Comfort Chicken Bowl, veal parmigiana, and apple pie hotcakes. The down-home delight doesn't stop there. Potato pancakes are back. Dive into the richness of our perfectly crafted potatoes with our classic potato pancakes and our stuffed potato pancakes. Top off your meal with our new gingerbread shake, a seamless blend of creamy vanilla and sweet gingerbread flavors. Nothing beats the comforting taste of down-home cooking. Enjoy every bite, only at Big Boy.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win an all-expenses-paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament for you and 5 of your best buds. That's right, college basketball's most elite event. You and your 5 best friends just get to any Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically register to win the trip of your dreams. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
Get your pet the best. That means going to Premier Pet Supply, Michigan's hands-down best pet store. They have over 60 brands of food and nutrition experts to help you pick out the best food for your dog, your cat, your iguana, your bird, your snake.
Lion.
Lion?
Yeah, lions.
Yes.
I have a pet lion.
They have lions at Premier Pet?
They need to put a lion out on Ford Field next year.
Dan Campbell, he wants it.
Yeah.
He
They
wants
did it
it.
in 81. Why can't we do it now?
He might. But Premier Pet Supply, I'm sure, would have. They would have food for that animal. Check them out, PremierPetSupply.com. Oh, yeah, we are back. This is Woodward Nights. This is brand new nights with my guy, Brandon Dent, a.k.a. Detroit Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid?
And
you know, Kool-Aid's got a little update for us. We got a barn burner in. Who are they playing?
The Cleveland Cavaliers,
Pistons,
man. The
baby.
28-16 Cleveland Cavaliers. The Detroit Pistons, it's 111-110. Karis LeVert has one more free throw to take for the Cavs after the timeout. It's going down to the wire. The Pistons were down like 10 all game. They came back. Danilo Gallinari, man, having the game of his Pistons life right now. 20 points, 4-4 from 3. Cade Cunningham is back. He's put up 16 points, 6 assists tonight, 7 of 13 shooting.
How many turnovers?
Let's see.
Sorry to make.
No turnovers for Cade
How about
Cunningham.
it?
Shout out.
None. And Jaden Ivey started next to him with the 14 points to boot. So they're working pretty well, it seems like.
I love that. We're going to talk to Kool-Aid. We're going to talk a little more Pistons at 9:30. So make sure you're here.
3-4 in the last 7 games. They're trying to get to 500 since the trade.
500?
Would be great. And you think about bringing in those veterans, it kind of makes you wonder what they would have looked like maybe if all of them were healthy to start the year, you know?
Yeah. Hey, optimism for the future. But, Nick, we got one more call in line.
Yes, we do. Give me 1 second here.
Oh, you are good. We got the camera on you, so we're going to watch you, make you nervous.
Yeah. He's
Pressure's
joking.
on.
No, all right. We're going to Mason Leach in
Mason!
Rankin Booth.
Mason, how you doing?
Hi, can you guys hear me well?
Damn right.
Perfect.
So, I just want to know, what do you guys think of Chop Robinson? Because we all know in the NFL, the best edge rushers are all from the Big Ten. You got Micah Parsons, Nick Bosa, and now Aiden Hutchinson. And the best pass rush always gets to the quarterback, which will help the secondary out the most. What do you think of him?
And I missed your question that you started at which. What was the question that you asked about the edge rusher?
It was Chop Robinson.
Oh, yeah, okay. Good. You know what? I would answer this for you any other night, but we got a guy in the TD booth who's done some research on this man. I think you were spitting some facts on Chop Robinson on the heavyweights. I want to hear from KG. But Mason Leach, thank you so much for calling. We appreciate you. KG.
Give me 1 second here.
Oh, you got some graphics or something?
Oh, no, I was just taking that down. But, yeah, I had to do a report on Chop Robinson today, and I found out a lot, man. This guy, first step, is absolutely unbelievable, man. And he reminds you a lot of a James Houston, but way more versatile. Like, he has the bend of a James Houston, but can also play better in the run game. I saw a lot of tape on this guy, and I don't know, we're Michigan fans in here. If you remember that Penn State game, he was making a lot of plays on Blake Corum early in that game. He was absolutely destroying the B-gap, man, and that's something that we can absolutely use. He primarily plays outside, but he can overpower you with his strength and speed. The only thing I would think you would have to look out for is longer arm defenders and more fundamental tackles. They might have a day with him, but I feel like with the right coaching, this guy can come in and make an immediate impact. And yeah, man, he is just that. Can you imagine having a Hutch-like player on the other side of Hutch? Like, he has the same type of motor Hutch has. And can you just imagine, like, I know we make a lot about the pressures, but when you got two guys getting in the backfield like that, that's going to create chaos for the quarterback, maybe flush him out, give more time for Hutch to get sacks and Aleem McNeil. What you guys think about Chop Robinson?
I'm a Chop fan.
Yeah,
and I love his name.
Yeah, and kind of what caught my ear is the fact that he can play on the line, getting into the backfield, as well as stopping the run. I know a lot of people, as it relates to James Houston, we know that guy is going to get into the backfield and bring the quarterback down. But where people start to get a little bit weary about him, a lot of people say, hey, just let him rush the quarterback, is what he does well, is when he starts to, how versatile is he really? Mm-hmm. The more versatile players we can have on this team, I think the better. I think it gives the defensive and offensive coordinators a lot to be able to play around with as it relates to the schemes, a lot to be able to do to kind of give different looks whenever they need to. When you're talking about a quarterback that's out there audibling, going to different play calls and things of that nature, giving you one look and then switching everything up, I absolutely love having more versatile players like that in Chop. I remember that game.
Yeah,
I remember that
He was making plays.
He was making plays, and it wasn't like we were getting busy on the ground either.
Yeah,
they had to go. Although they ran a lot, they had to run away from him.
Yep,
or scheme it so that if he's coming, you try to get around him. But he was dominant, like you said, in that B gap.
And primarily in college, he played 3 years. He was a 3-down edge rusher. And I just want to throw out his career stats for y'all: 60 total tackles, 43 solo, 11 and a half sacks, 20 tackles for loss, 3 forced fumbles, 2 recoveries, and 3 passes defended. So that leads to the versatility, like we said. He can also play the passing game pretty well. And if you need him to possibly do a light coverage assignment, he should be able to do it. But in his second season alone, he had 40 pressures and 8 quarterback hits, man. So this guy is an absolute stud. If he gets that first step on you, you better watch out as of offensive tackle.
Got that pressure coming from the opposite side of Hutch. I want to get... if I had my way, I would go veteran at the defensive tackle position, like you talk, that veteran strength, that man strength, and get a young edge rusher on the outside, especially someone developed like Chop. And I don't want Sue, But imagine if you had Chop Suey next to each other on that defensive line. See what I'm saying?
I see.
Know what I'm saying?
Funny guy over here.
I tried.
Gotcha.
But before we move on, we got a game of Would You Rather, which is KG's thing now.
Yeah.
I saw something in the chat from Alec G, and I just want to throw it to you guys real quick. We'll go around. I just want to get your opinion. He says, Alex G, I would love to see the Lions draft Brock Bowers, tight end out of Georgia. Bowers gets compared to Gronk, and if Laporta thinks he's the next Aaron Hernandez, questionable, then that offense would be lethal, pun intended. Okay, so he's coming back to that, Alex G. That's funny. What do you think about Brock Bowers? Would you consider a tight end, or do you think a tight end that would have to be early? He'd be a first rounder.
I'm good on tight end, even though Brock Bowers is an absolute dog, man. It would be nice to have a Laporta and a Brock Bowers, but I don't think you need him, man. Laporta is good enough on his own. He's a one-man wrecking crew, and then you also have James Mitchell still, so I wouldn't do it. What about you, Nick?
If you have to give up your second rounder to get up to, or say you're giving up your first and your second to get up to, say, pick number 12 to where J-Mo went to get Brock Bowers, I say you do it.
You think so?
I think he's that good. You have to. I really would. And you think about those old tight end sets that New England used to run, it would literally be just like that elite offense.
With Dan Campbell?
And then, you would have to spend money on the defense, like no doubt about it, though.
That's just unfair. Brock Bowers and Laporta, that's not even
Think
fair.
about that.
That's not fair, man.
We'd have Brock Bowers and Brock Wright. We could have used an extra tight end in this last game. No offense.
Bowers gets in the end zone there.
Do you have any quick opinion? Oh, yeah.
It still burns. It still hurts.
Go, gadget arm. Kool-Aid, do you have an opinion?
Gosh, man. I'm all for taking this offense and moving it to an elite level, but I still, like I'm telling you guys, I want the defense. I want the cornerback. I want the rushers, the pass rushers. That's kind of where my heart
ones. Those first rounders.
That's where my heart is, man. That's where my heart is with this draft. Honestly, that's where my heart is with free agency as well.
Yeah.
It just is.
I'm with you. We're going to move on. We're going to take a quick break, but come on back. We got a game of Would You Rather hosted by the real KG himself. Speaking of games, I got to tell you about Jack Labrador, because the same old Lions are no more. RIP to them. Thank you, Sheila, Dan, and Brad, for getting rid of them, for putting them to rest. You know what else has found the grave? The same old rock, paper, scissors. Jack Labrador has revolutionized that tired game with 2 new symbols and a franchise-changing 3-point play. So discover the action at jacklabrador.gg now and find out why once you go Jack, you never go back.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and WoodwardSports.com. Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit. The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
What up, Woodward Sports? Dispo Dispensary is bringing you the ultimate experience for the big game in Vegas, and they want you there. You can win 2 tickets to the big game, plus a flight, hotel, and accommodations by following these simple steps. First, follow dispo.michigan, @ChillMedicated, and @ChillMedicatedCBD on Instagram. Like Dispo's pinned post, comment and tag someone you love to bring. Plus, if you repost on your story, you get an extra entry. It's that easy. Join the Dispo family for a chance to score in Vegas. The big game awaits. Follow, like, tag, and repost now.
If you have football on the brain, you better, because the season just ended, but it ain't over. We got the Super Bowl coming up, Combine, NFL Draft, got a big offseason. This is also why it's the perfect time. You got to get your home and auto insurance before we get into this offseason. To do that, you got to shop it like a pro with Mark at Swiss Insurance. You can find him today at SwissINS.com or give him a call at 248-800-4177. Do you see the goal coming out of break? Let's go, boys!
Let's go! Larkin, the captain, baby! Show shows up in a big moment. We just had a penalty kill. 2-2 Red Wings with the momentum. I think 8 minutes left in this third. Let's go!
Let's go!
Damn right.
Dude, this is your first time reacting on the Woodward Nights.
I like it.
We got Red Wings games. We're about to have Tigers games. I think D-Mac just provided the good luck, the mojo.
That was clean. Top right shelf.
Hell. I know, I'm the one typing this.
D-Boss, Dylan Larkin.
71 the captain. D-Mac must have left his iPad in here. Hey, guys. That's what I'm going to type. Hey, guys. We're back. We got a game of Would You Rather hosted by KG. We're going to get right into it. KG.
Hey, and let me explain the rules real quick. So we're going to play a classic old game of Would You Rather. Kool-Aid, it's your first time. So I have 6 scenarios and or questions I'm going to ask y'all. You get 2 options and you have to choose one and give a short explanation as to why. Pretty simple, right?
Yummy.
All right, let's get it going. Nick, can you hear me? Play me some pimping, man, as Juicy J would say. All right, there we go. My first scenario and or question to the panel. Would you rather AG leave today and you get that 3rd round compensatory pick? Or would you rather AG stay another 2 seasons as your Lions DC? Broder, I start with you.
Oh, boy. And I do believe, correct me if you know this for sure, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you get 2 third-round picks.
For AG?
Yeah. Because I think
right.
it's coordinator moving on and Rooney Rule. There's part of the Rooney Rule involved. Minority coach coming through your system, getting a promotion to a head coach. I believe.
Right. I think you're right. Don't quote me on that, but you may be correct.
Don't quote me on that, too.
For this, we'll change it to 2 then. 2 third-rounders or AG stays another 2 seasons.
So I want AG back. I do. But I do know that he's going to be a head coach eventually. He wants to be a head coach. He should be a head coach, and I support that. So with 2 third-rounders there versus staying 2 years, I got to go with the draft picks. I'm sorry. I got to go with the draft picks.
I'm on your side here, especially with Ben Johnson has already stepped out and declared I'm coming back to the Detroit Lions. They said that he made that decision while Washington Commanders were still on the way here.
That's Tony Petitti-like, Patty.
Yeah, but we haven't heard the same thing from Aaron Glenn yet. For me, I don't know how locked in he is or isn't. Obviously, if he's here with the squad, I know he's going to be locked in. But Ben Johnson sees that vision. But I believe that the 2 third-round picks right now, those will help this future vision just a little bit more, especially with this window. You got to take advantage right now.
You might be able to get Brock and Kool-Aid and Marvin Harrison with all these picks.
You got to take advantage right now. It allows them to be able to get a little bit more aggressive in that first round with their first round pick. It allows them to be able to say, let's take some chances and move up, knowing that you got a loaded 3rd round.
It will be 4 third-round picks for them this year.
Stop it.
Yeah,
what about you, Nick?
I'd 100% let him walk for the draft picks. We know what Brad Holmes loves to do. It's maneuver in the draft. Give him more ammo to do so and walk away with some blue chip prospects. Great one, KG.
Yeah. Hey, listen, man. I was going to be, the opposite in the room, but when you brought up that 2nd, 3rd round pick, man, that might be too good to pass up.
That's too good.
So, yeah, AG can leave today, man. We need them picks, man. That's just me. But question number 2.
Number 2, like CJ Gardner-Johnson.
Would you rather Brad Holmes move up in the 1st round for a corner or sign L'Jarius Sneed to a long-term deal? Broder, I come to you.
I feel like I already know what Broder's going to say.
You know what? How old's L'Jarius Sneed?
27, I want to say. I believe.
We're calling a long-term deal like a 4-year deal?
Yeah.
I'm signing him. I'd rather actually have Jalen Johnson, but if you can sign a proven veteran, he had a great year. I don't know if he's that elite number 1, but at least you know what he is. You might hit that Sauce Gardner in the draft, which would be amazing. But it's so hard to know that, a cornerback. So I'm going to go long-term contract for L'Jarius Sneed. Kool-Aid.
I second that, man. If you can get somebody that you absolutely know is going to step in right away and just handle the business, handle that job, you don't have to think twice about it. I feel like the Detroit Lions are in that position right now where they need more players like that. Obviously, if you have the opportunity to go up and grab one of these elite corners, one of these elite defensive back players in the draft, you think about it. But if I can get somebody right now, like a pro's pro, as George Blaha would say, I got to lean that way.
Yeah. Nick.
Hey, Nick, real quick before you answer, Wilson one in the chat said Snead led the league in PI penalties. So, with that in mind,
you tell me that after I picked?
Hey, I didn't know. I didn't know myself.
I was leaning towards not going with Snead. I just don't know if he's that elite guy. I don't think he is. And we thought Cam Sutton, when you were getting a proven veteran, was going to be that elite guy, and he clearly wasn't. If you can draft a guy and keep him in your system for 7-8 years, you're thinking, after he signs another contract extension, I would do that if you can get an elite number one cornerback, like a guy like Sauce. I mean, Sauce Gardner's one of a kind, but somebody just below that level.
KG, how would you answer your own question?
I'm going L'Jarius Sneed personally. I just need proven corners right now. I feel like we're in a win now window, and I just have scars of Jeff Okudah. Corner is a tricky spot. The turnaround time on a corner can be absolutely tricky. And I just think back to how hard it was for Jeff Okudah to turn that corner. I would much rather just we got the money. I would just go ahead and get Snead, pay him what he wants. Don't go too high, of course, but go get that premier corner, partner him with Cam Sutton, and I feel like your problems will be a lot less, back there. But
yeah, Alec G says draft. Snead is still undersized for the cornerback position. We need a Christian Gonzalez-like cornerback. We have to play too many elite wide receivers. I don't trust a guy that's thriving in a specific system to handle them. Good point. Good point, Alec G. Yeah. Number three.
This one you kind of stole from me, but I'll bring it back anyway. Would you rather keep Josh Reynolds or keep DPJ? Broder,
you gotta put the Michigan wide receiver
I'm
in
sorry,
this mix.
Man. One I haven't even gotten to you gotta pick.
I haven't gotten to enjoy DPJ yet, and I think he would be a great veteran receiver to keep.
I know you're a DPJ guy. Definitely.
I am a DPJ guy. I know what I'm going to get out of Josh Reynolds, though, and I know his relationship with Goff, so I got to go Josh Reynolds. DPJ might have upside on him, but I don't know. I got to respect that relationship. I'm a big Josh Reynolds fan. The praying mantis, the cockroach. Just never goes away.
Kool-Aid, you got to pick one or the other. Which one are you keeping?
I'm keeping Josh Reynolds, man. Mr. Reliable. I got to go with Josh Reynolds. Like I said, the drops that we saw against the San Francisco 49ers were less than characteristic. If this was something that we saw kind of throughout the season, if he wasn't kind of the safety valve, if he wasn't the guy who stepped up in place of when we had some guys that got injured, then we'd be talking a little bit different. We'd be saying, hey, let's try and move in a different direction, especially if we had to pick solely between those two players. But nah, Josh Reynolds for me, man.
Okay. Nick.
Josh Reynolds for all the points that these guys just made, even though I'm still Josh Reynolds, Public Enemy number one.
Yeah, I'm going Josh Reynolds here, and only because the DPJ trade has not impressed me so far. I do understand that maybe with another year he would flourish with us, but I thought that, when they traded for him, he would be that big red zone target that we kind of needed. And, I mean, he made plays here and there, but overall, it's been a nothing burger so far. And if you were going to make that trade at the deadline, I would have much rather it have been for a defensive player, seeing and knowing what we know now. So I would just keep Josh Reynolds. Him and Goff already got the relationship. And, yeah, man, he's been balling for us. So besides the NFC Championship.
Like Mike Jones.
So I got three more. Are we up against a break?
No, we're good. We got 6 minutes left in this seggy.
So, my next question. Would you rather Gibbs be the starting running back next season or Monty be the starting running back next season? Now, clearly both are going to get touches, but who would you rather see get more of the touches? Broder, I come to you.
Honestly, I don't really care. Like,
Gotta pick one.
I do have to pick one. I trust Ben Johnson however, although I know it didn't really work out against San Francisco, however he wants to disperse the carries on a game-by-game basis. I mean, I love David Montgomery running the ball a lot. There's something physical about it. I think that opens up a lot for Jahmyr Gibbs.
But you would say that Monty was the starting back this past season, correct?
Yeah.
So do you think Gibbs has taken that step? Do you think he deserves more of the spotlight in this offense?
Yeah. And I've always been a fan of Gibbs running in between the tackles. I know that's not what many thought we were going to see going into the season, but he runs hard. He's tough. He's physical. And he proved he's durable.
Yeah.
Like, he's tough. So I would go with Jahmyr Gibbs, but it's by a slim margin. I love David Montgomery. I think that was one of the biggest free agent pickups we could have made.
Yeah, I absolutely love David Montgomery. This is a good question, man.
Yeah.
I feel like because Jahmyr Gibbs, he's one of those guys with game-changing speed, and he can take even limited amounts of snaps, and he can take something to the house. I really, really, really want to see what Jahmyr Gibbs can do if he was getting even more of the plays called for him. Not just in the run game, but also in the passing game. So screen passes, get him out a little bit.
Yeah.
Like they said that he's a weapon. That's what they said he is. And I think that it honestly allows him to, like you said, if we wanted to cheat, I think both of them are going to be able to be utilized to the point that they both, when you look at their stats, you're like, which one is the number one? But I want to see Jahmyr Gibbs featured a little bit more. What David Montgomery is able to do as it relates to getting you those 5 yards every single time and putting that absolute pressure on the opposing team's defensive backs, like you have to step up. When he's in the game, the defense has to line up a certain way.
Yeah.
But Jahmyr Gibbs, man, you cannot just, especially in the playoffs, man, just looking at some of those plays he made, getting through the line of scrimmage and then getting a quick burst for 20, 30 yards. It's just like, yo, you have to give yourself more opportunities to have those types of plays from your game-changing type players. David Montgomery, every now and then, I believe he's going to be able to get loose maybe for 10, 15, sometimes for 30, 40, maybe like every now and then.
Yeah.
But Jahmyr Gibbs is one of those guys who I expect that at least once or twice a game for him to go. Yeah. And that was with the touches he had last season. If you're talking about increasing that opportunity, I expect it to happen a lot more.
I'm seeing a lot of D-Monts in the chat, though.
It is surprising me, but I like it.
Yeah. It's amazing. It's a good question. Nick, where you at with it?
Yeah, we put high resources. I mean, we paid a running back, David Montgomery, which typically doesn't get done in this league, but we've also used a high draft pick on Jahmyr Gibbs. I think the explosiveness of Jahmyr Gibbs, like Kool-Aid alluded to, is the reason why he needs more touches. I thought we eased him in well this season, but going into year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, with Jahmyr Gibbs, you're going to need to utilize him as much as possible. So I believe he will be getting starting reps starting next year.
KG, Uncle Neil Soft Feet says, let Gibbs eat. That rhymed, too.
Yeah.
You want to let Gibbs eat, or you going Monty?
Listen, this was tough, man. But I think I'm going to go D-Mont with the rest of the chat, man. A lot of the chat said D-Mont. Only for this reason. Now, the year after, then it's Gibbs' role, take it and run with it. But I do like the combination of D-Mont and Gibbs. I like how they utilize both backs. And it's giving less tear on Gibbs' legs going forward. If you can get another year with D-Mont opening up the inside and then Gibbs getting outside, I think you got something there. And it worked to perfection this year.
Yeah.
I would stick with D-Mont as the starter for right now and then Gibbs as the second back. But the year after that, it's Gibbs' job for the taking.
Yeah, definitely. I have this striking suspicion, and this is my own conspiracy theory, that, and I almost hope they don't, but I don't know if they're going to re-sign Gibbs after his rookie contract. I see them.
You don't think so?
I'm considering. I don't know yet, but I think maybe their strategy with this draft was you're going to draft a running back, run him into the ground for 5 years, and then just keep churning young athletes every 4 to 5 years versus. And we saw last year in the offseason, running backs just weren't getting paid. People weren't investing in it. So,
but I mean, Gibbs' ability,
he might be that outlier.
Yeah,
you got to keep them on a team. We'll see. Let's go one more before break.
All right, this one is gonna be tough. I like this one a lot. So, would you rather the Lions have a top 10 ranked defense next season, or the Lions have a number 1 ranked offense next season? Broder, I come to you.
Give me that question one more time.
All right. Would you rather the Lions have a top 10 ranked defense next season, or the Lions have the number 1 ranked offense next season?
I already know.
Top 10 ranked defense. Easy.
Easy?
Easy.
Yeah.
Not easy, but to know that they have a top 10 ranked defense, I think if they regress on offense, they're a 6, 7, 8, top 8 offense.
Yeah.
I fully expect them to be a top 3 offense once again. So I'm going defense. Let's commit to that.
All right. Kool-Aid, where you going?
Yo, I've been talking about it all show. I want this team next year to be top 10 if possible, or at least have that defensive backfield be shored up to the point that we can depend on them. I would love if this defense was top 10. I think it goes with our identity in Detroit. Have a nasty defense that goes out there, and when other teams are talking about game planning us, it's not, well, leading up to that San Francisco game, man, leading up to some of these playoff games, it was rightful, I guess, but it sucked to hear all the different national narratives talking about how our corners can't stop a nosebleed, bro. It was just like, man, if they could find a way to give themselves a top 10 defense that goes out there and plays physical, plays nasty, some cornerbacks that can run the routes for the receivers, I would absolutely love that. And now you're rolling a team out there in which, if you're top 10, that means that there's going to be some days, obviously, when it's not working for you, but a lot more days where you're probably looking more like a top 8, top 7 type of a defense. And overall, how many teams out there can say that they're sporting both a top 10 defense and a top 10 offense?
It's true.
I think that this puts the Detroit Lions clearly at the front of, or right back at the top of the NFC.
Yes. Nick.
Yeah, I know what I would do here, and that's pick that defense being in the top 10 because I think our offense will be elite again. But who cares about what I say? Let's go to Tom Mazaway from the Ermanni and Edwards show.
Wait,
Maz, you're live on Woodward Nights. What would you do?
Maz.
What's up, boys?
What up, though, Maz?
Legend Tom Mazaway on the line, the star of Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. How you doing? Did you hear that question?
I did. I do. And I'm sticking with my offense, man. I want my offense to even take a better step next year. How's that sound?
You're just locking that in, making sure no matter what, we're going to have that top-ranked offense. We'll figure everything else out after that.
I love our team. I love our offense. Just think what we got from Sam Laporta this year. And the last month of the season, he's playing basically on one leg. This guy he's top 3 tight end next year. Guaranteed. Jahmyr Gibbs, top 3 running back. David Montgomery, fantastic running back. I want to see Ben Johnson put both those guys in the backfield a couple of times as well. Protect Jared Goff. Let's get another offensive lineman. Hell, I'd bring Jonah Jackson back.
So you're in the bring Jonah Jackson back camp.
Yes, I am. I totally am.
They're a beastly line with them.
Who'd we lose last year to Seattle? Who'd we lose? Matt Nelson? Who'd we lose to
Evan
Seattle?
Brown.
There you go, Brown. Okay. And you know what? The guy stepped up. Glasgow stepped up this year for him. I think Glasgow will return as well. I think he loves being on this team, and he's affordable. Just get that offensive line going again, and just keep pounding that football next year, guys.
Yes. Maz, I dig it. How's your night going? This is a pleasant surprise.
You won't believe what I'm watching right now. Guess what I'm watching?
What?
I'm watching, besides you guys, I'm watching Super Bowl 54. It's the San Francisco 49ers and the Kansas City Chiefs.
Wow.
That's wild.
Jimmy Garoppolo, baby.
Maz, that's wild.
Debo Samuel was a rookie. Debo was a rookie.
Were they using it? Like, I'm trying to picture how they were using Debo. This is when he was all over the field, right? Running back, wide receiver.
He was everywhere. Yep, he just ran for 32 yards on like an end around. I mean, they're using him all over the place.
Jeez.
Crazy.
Jeez.
Oh, man.
Maz, you might have to switch that T over.
I can't get enough NFL.
Might have to switch that T over. The Red Wings are going to overtime here in about 17 seconds unless they get a quick one.
Okay, man. That's okay. We'll take it. I'll take overtime. I'll take a point at least.
What's on the schedule or what's on the boob tube, the TV, after you finish Super Bowl 54?
I go to after the Super Bowl 54. I'll throw a Sopranos on and go to bed.
That's what I'm talking
Sound
about.
like a Maz night right there.
Maz, what a pleasure having you call in.
I had to say hi to my guys, and it's great to have you two guys on the desk. Nick's in the booth. Who's in audio? I missed who's in the audio.
KG. This is our boy KG.
KG in audio.
Like you don't know me, Maz.
I'm sorry, Kenny. I only caught the end, man. I didn't see you, buddy.
No, you're all good.
Appreciate it.
I love
Maz.
this group. It's a great group, man.
Hey,
I
love you, Maz. It's definitely good to
Love
hear your
you
voice,
too,
man.
Brandon. Love you too, brother.
We appreciate it, Maz.
Looking
And
forward to seeing you guys.
we're making a little bit of an announcement that I think you're aware of after the break. So that's a nice little tease that you made. But
That's it, baby.
Maz, we really appreciate you
Can't
calling
wait.
in. Love your take.
Can't wait, man.
Enjoy
Can't
the
wait.
Super Bowl and enjoy the Sopranos.
All right. Hey, Mahomes just a quarterback sneak touchdown.
Mahomes being Mahomes. Maz, we love you. Thanks so much for calling in.
Yep. Thank you, Maz.
Got it, guys. Can't wait to see you guys.
Oh,
Keep
you
rocking.
bet. You
Thank
bet.
you, brother.
Chat, that was Tom Mazaway.
We love
Complete
Maz
surprise.
from
From Ermanni.
football.
What was that?
I said we love Maz the way he loves NFL football.
Yes. Obsessively.
Yeah.
We're obsessed with Maz. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz every day on the Woodward Sports Network from 2 to 4. We're going to take a break, but we got a little announcement coming. When we come back, we're going to let Kool-Aid break down how the Pistons game finished up. I don't know how it ended.
And the Wings are in overtime.
So you might get, hopefully, a positive reaction here in overtime. But Kool-Aid, I believe in Guardian Alarm. You got to tell them.
You know what, man? If
Is
the
that what it
Pistons
is?
just had a little bit of defense, maybe they need to call Guardian Alarm
Yes,
too,
sir.
man, because it's a new year. Let Guardian Alarm offer you customized solutions from real experts. Our professional technicians take the time to recommend security and automation solutions specific to your needs. 24/7 professional monitoring. Call us anytime, day or night, and know that a Guardian team member will stay on the phone as long as needed. Technology backed by people. Your safety and security deserves technology that's been proven to work, and people who have been proven to care. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT. Once again, that is 1-800-STAY-OUT.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network. Thank you to all the fans for making Woodward Sports your #1 online destination for Detroit sports. We promise not to drop the ball. Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions show. Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and WoodwardSports.com.
What up, Woodward Sports? Dispo Dispensary is bringing you the ultimate experience for the big game in Vegas, and they want you there. You can win 2 tickets to the big game, plus a flight, hotel, and accommodations by following these simple steps. First, follow dispo.michigan, @ShowMedicated, and @ShowMedicatedCBD on Instagram. Like Dispo's pinned post, comment and tag someone you love to bring. Plus, if you repost on your story, you get an extra entry. It's that easy. Join the Dispo family for a chance to score in Vegas. The big game awaits. Follow, like, tag, and repost now.
For over 60 years, Fairway Packing Company has provided Michigan's finest restaurants, hotels, and casinos with prime beef, Wagyu beef, and dry-aged beef. You can experience the Fairway difference for yourself today. Just head out to their steak shop in Grosse Pointe Woods. They got grab-and-go steaks, and if you don't have the time to go there and check out all their meat, just go ahead and order early. Order online at fairwaypacking.com. We got the Red Wings in overtime right now. 3 minutes, 15 seconds left. Tied at 2. Is there a penalty just called?
Yeah,
no penalty
that should
yet.
have been a tripping call, man.
It looked like it. You guys might be getting a hopefully a good reaction here.
Looks like they're letting the boys play.
They're letting the boys play, and I'm cool with that as long as they let the Red Wings win. But thank you all for joining us tonight. This is Woodward Nights. It's a brand new Nights.
No!
That's not the reaction that I wanted.
Oh, God damn it. Excuse my language. Gosh
Goodness.
darn it.
They just lost in overtime, didn't they?
Pistons and Wings go down in hard-fought battles tonight, man.
Sheesh.
Pistons lost 2?
I hate the goddamn Senators. Hate them.
All the way. Oh, man.
Got a point.
Get
whatever.
off our ice.
Got a point.
What a bummer.
Go home.
We are going to do one more question. We're going to do a Would You Rather, but especially because I promised my guy Chuck Brewer in the chat, we got a little announcement to make. There's some changes. There's some changes going on at Woodward Sports. This crew is a part of some of the bigger changes. Should I just go right in? Should I just say it?
Talk about it, brother. I told Chuck Brewer in the chats in the Woodward Pistons podcast earlier that we would be announcing this news. I said I would wait for Broder to be able to kind of break that. So
yeah,
talk to him.
Go on ahead.
Yeah,
brother.
so I will be joining the Morning Woodward Show. We're making some changes to the Woodward Nights. I'm going to Morning Woodward Show. You know what else, though? Kool-Aid's coming, too. Kool-Aid's
Right.
coming to host. Kool-Aid and I and Sam Flannel are going to be 3 co-hosts on the morning show. We're going to be rebranding. We're going to be doing some new things starting Monday. And wait. KG's coming too.
Damn right.
KG's
Hey,
coming
that's
too.
first
He's
round
coming
pick.
to do the sound on the morning Woodward show. We're going to have a different name on Monday. We're figuring it all out, but we are moving. Unfortunately, our guy, Nick, is not able to come and join us with the Morning Woodward Show, but he is going to be filling in, being the heavyweight sound booth guy. You're not losing Nick. Nick is going to be there in that booth.
Boys, it's been a magical run with Woodward Knights Broder. I appreciate it. I will be joining the team that brought me in to Woodward Sports, and that is the Heavyweights.
The Heavies.
I was their intern for 8 months, and then I landed the Woodward Knights gig, and
I remember
blessing
that.
for all of you guys. Broder wouldn't be here if you and Booner, shout out Booner.
Shout out
for,
Booner.
Yeah, always. Shout out for giving me an opportunity to be a part of your guys' show that you had a vision for. So I appreciate it. And I will see you guys 5 to 7 p.m. every single weekday with the Heavyweights.
Yeah, and we are going to be having Woodward Nights. We're going to have our final show tomorrow night. So you're going to see all us 4 one more time. But we want to tell you guys, we can't keep the secret. I know there's been a lot of stuff going on here, but we're really excited. I'm going to pass it over to Kool-Aid. We're really excited to just start to bring something new to the network. We're filling in. Guys on the morning show were good to us too. The Jeffs, the Adams. It goes way back to the start of this company. We want to do them proud, but we're going to be bringing new content. We got 2 credentialed beat reporters, beat writers. I am going to be covering the Tigers. We're working on getting those credentials this spring. So we're going to have a really exclusive morning show. I'm just really excited. Kool-Aid?
I think it's appropriate that we got the Premier Pet Supply behind us right now. If you can show that again. Because Broder is a literal GOAT. He's a literal GOAT, man. He just finished up, to me, a very, very successful Lions season on the beat. He helped this company really take a step forward as it relates to our Lions coverage. And I believe he's going to help us take a serious leap forward as it relates to our coverage with the Detroit Tigers. And honestly, there's a lot of people who have kind of sat in these seats as it relates to the Morning Woodward Show. I remember the first one starting with Stick and Joey, down to Adam. I know that Kennedy used to be here.
Pilar.
Jeff, Pilar, Terry Foster. Yeah. It's falling on Broder and I now, along with Flannel Sam. And Flannel Sam, I sit at the desk that he's kind of been at for the last year as well with the Morning Woodward Show. And I'm excited. I'm excited for what we can bring, the new content, the new production. I think the new production value that we're going to bring, as well as some of the live stuff that we want to get going. And Nick, bro, Red Wings talk isn't over, man. Nick isn't going anywhere, man. Look, when we need somebody to talk Red Wings whenever the schedule permits,
yes, sir,
Nick is definitely going to be a part of the show. He's somebody that I remember at LCA when we were doing all the Concourse stuff, and he was just hoping for an opportunity here, and to be able to see him hit the ground running, be one of the best team players that I've seen here, be one of the more uplifting people. I've absolutely enjoyed the watch parties here as well, man. It's been an amazing time with this crew, especially Kenny. It feels like you just got here, but it feels like you've been here since the beginning as well.
Seriously.
Bro. And I'm looking forward to this opportunity, man. I know that the schedules have kind of been bounced back and forth, but the things that we have planned for you guys with this morning show, I'm excited, brother.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm excited.
It's going to be good. Kenny, you got anything to say? You don't have to. I just want to give you an opportunity.
No, I'm just excited to be with y'all boys, man. Y'all open me with open arms, man. And y'all helping me improve. So I just want to thank y'all for that, giving me the opportunity to TD on this show. But I'm looking forward to new ventures, man. We going to kill it. Shout out Sam Flannel, man. I know Sam get a lot of grief in the chat, but Sam is good people, man. And I'm looking forward to doing the show with him as well. Morning Woodward is a big reason, how I got my start too. So yeah, man, I love y'all, and we gonna kill it, man. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, and by the way, I wouldn't have done it if Sam Flannel wasn't included. That was I didn't make any requests or anything, but I wanted Sam Flannel to be a part of it. I think what we're gonna bring as a 3-man hosting team, I think we're gonna turn some heads, turn some haters into believers. I'm a big Sam Flannel fan. We're gonna have an interesting little personality triangle here. It's gonna be a good time. Nick, you got one last thing to say?
Yeah, shout out everybody in the chat. I appreciate the kind words. I'm not going anywhere. I'll be on the heavyweights 5 to 7. I know you guys love when I talk Red Wings in this one. I know Spencer is also super down to talk Red Wings, so we're going to be bringing you guys all of the Detroit sports. It's not going to be strictly Lions. I know Easy is a Lions savant and when it comes to that, but I will be there 5 to 7. Kool-Aid, I appreciate the kind words. Broder, shout out for the opportunity once again.
You're the man.
Means the world. And KG,
my man.
This team has been elite. And we were just finding our stride, but you know what? We're not going anywhere. We're just getting split up for a little bit. We will find our way back
You're gonna kill
soon
it, Nick.
enough. I appreciate you, fellas.
And by the way, chat, we're going to go to break here real quick. Then we're going to come back and we're going to do the last Would You Rather question. But Woodward Nights is going to be on a temporary hold. It's not officially gone.
Yeah.
There is. We're working on either some replace. We're working on some things, but we love this time slot. Just the way things are going. Morning's a spot we need to take to the next level. So it's going to be on pause. Hopefully, we'll have some more Woodward Nights for you coming up in the future of Woodward Sports. But
it's going to be a fun time.
Yeah, mornings it is. We'll be back here tomorrow night. And then on Monday is that first show. Oh, Shane Daniel. Shane Daniel, I see your name up there. Proud of all you, and I know you guys are just going to continue to make Woodward Sports the best Detroit sports channel. Brand new nights, never say die. That's what I'm talking about, Shane Daniel. Thanks so much. That's a $9.99 donation. We appreciate you. We appreciate everyone in the chat.
Yeah, and I see here Kalamazoo said, does it start tomorrow morning? No, it will be Monday morning. I know for us tomorrow, we have a lot of work to do to get ready for the show, a lot of planning. They're kind of green-lighting some stuff for this morning's show. It will be production-wise as things really start to get going. It'll be one of the more unique shows on the platform to start, and something that we hope and that we're hoping to kind of institute amongst all of the other shows. But we're really looking to get interactive with you all, especially on social media, and including that within our platform. This back wall is going to be used for some pretty great things. And we got some pretty cool ideas as it relates to some of the live stuff we got going on. And there's a lot in the works to make Woodward Sports overall and the content that we produce and that we bring to you all something that much better. We owe it to you guys that support us. Yes. And I think that we owe it to the team that's here as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't say it any better myself. Do I got Mark White to do?
You do.
This is a tough one. Mark, I guess we're getting new real estate in the mornings, you know? We're just finding a new time. We're going to miss all the people that can't make the mornings, but all of our shows are going to be recorded. We're going to be joining other shows. Hopefully, we connect with all of you soon. But Mark White, if you are dreaming of a new home, but you're feeling the financial pinch, Mark White and Associates, they are your trusted real estate experts. They will pay up to $5,000 of your closing costs. That's right. I said $5,000. So call Mark White and Associates today at 248-290-8242. Visit them at markwhitesells.com.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Are you tired of wearing the same old Detroit sports merch? It's a new era in sports wearables. New designs, amazing apparel, and the ultimate swag. Check out Woodward Sports' latest gear at WoodwardSports.com and click shop. Hoodies, tees, and the hats that are guaranteed to turn heads. Get the latest designs today at WoodwardSports.com and click shop.
That's right, we're back. This is Woodward Nights. I got Detroit Kool-Aid with
Yes,
me.
sir.
Nick
Yes,
in the
sir.
sound booth, KG in the TD booth. I'm rushing through this intro because we got one more big question for you.
We do.
Would you rather from KG? But thank you all for everyone in here watching, supporting. We look forward to the future. KG,
Hey,
one more to go, baby.
Hold on.
It
Shout out
is.
to JB the GOAT as well.
oh yeah. We didn't make sure JB. Why didn't we do that?
Yeah, JB Smooth. You guys are already familiar with him. He is probably the only thing that doesn't change with the morning show.
Yeah.
He's
That's
a goat.
JB
He
show.
is the
Yeah,
goat.
that's JB's show. We're just helping him.
Yes.
Shout out JB, man.
Yeah.
But this is my last question. You know I like to say the best for last. So, Nick, cut the music, man. Acapella, please. We need to get our thinking hats on for this one. Now.
The 7 digits to your mother.
Okay.
I can't hear my snare.
Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck was that? All right. Would you rather extend golf today at 3 years, $53 million per year, or would you rather extend golf after a 2024 NFC Championship win? Hold on, I will repeat the question for anybody that didn't hear in the chat. Y'all can give y'all answers too. The last question: would you rather extend Jared Goff today at 3 years, $53 million per year, or would you rather extend Jared Goff after a 2024 NFC Championship win? It's clear that they're going to re-sign Goff. So, Broder, what say you?
Yeah, I think the way you set that up, I think I'm extending him today for 3 years because it's not a super long contract. I think 53 by year 2 of that extension, that's going to be a bargain.
Yeah.
I think these contracts are just going to continue to go up. Lock him in there. The only thing that goes along that 3 year, that just matches up with Hendon Hooker's rookie contract. So that almost becomes a wash. What do you do with Hooker? How do you get value back from him? That's a question mark. But for 3 years, I think you make that move.
Yeah.
I think you do.
Kool-Aid, where you at?
That's tough.
I think with the success that we've seen with Jared Goff and the fact that, Ben Johnson is back and whatnot, I think you got to lock down Jared Goff for right now. I really do. This was a tough one. At 53, that's a pretty high number, but man, oh man, I do trust this regime. If something down the road is better, to be able to go ahead and do that. I don't know what that number becomes if he wins, because if he wins the NFC Championship game, you have to bring him back.
That's the
and
key.
I have no idea what that number is going to be. I think if this is a squad that you're rolling with, Ben Johnson's back, and this team trusts JG as their leader, as KG said as well, he's the king of Detroit right now, man. I think you kind of roll the dice, you take the chance, you kind of give him a semi-reward for what he just did this previous season and pay him a little bit for what he's supposed to and going to do over these next 2 to 3 seasons. Man, that is steep, but I think you got to go for it.
Pen and paper. You're doing it now.
All right. Real quick, Nick, before you answer, somebody in the chat said, what is the price, after the NFC Championship win? It's open-ended because assuming he wins the NFC Championship, the price will go up.
You got to think so.
Yeah,
Have to.
Exactly. So, Nick, where you at with it?
I'm taking the NFC Championship win.
Whoo!
Yeah, because I believe this team would win a Super Bowl, and I don't care what happens with the quarterback after that.
Zing.
Let's go.
That's a
Give me
dog
the bowl,
answer.
baby. Yeah, I would take that option any day of the week. Give me a Super Bowl and this team go 0-16 50 years straight. I don't care. Give me a Super Bowl. Damn it. I thought I had one this year. Yeah, KG.
Almost. KG, how would you answer your own question, man?
This was tough. I had to think about this one, man. But I got to go with you guys, man. You extend the man right now 3 years, $53 million per year. Because to our point, once he wins that NFC Championship next year, the price is absolutely going to go up. And I think it's better to just re-sign him while he has a year left on his deal. You don't want to leave the man dangling out there, pause. You don't want to leave him out there. You don't want to leave him out there, with no contract. You either lock him up now or you're going to have to answer some questions in the offseason. Because I'm pretty sure his agent, it will be like, well, why didn't you lock us up before? Especially seeing that he got us to an NFC Championship this year, and then assuming he wins one next year, that price is gonna skyrocket, man. So I'm locking him up today.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, Nick, before we come back, we're going to do mailbag. Get your questions in. Ask us anything. Ask us about the news we just dropped. Anything you want. Sports, personal life, relationships. We might not answer them, but we'll see. Ask us anything. Nick, can you tell them about Planet Fitness? Do you want to fit that pizza in your mouth after you work out? They have pizza there.
They do.
Planet Fitness is home the judgment-free
the way you
zone.
accentuated it.
Judgment-free zone where anyone, and we mean anyone, can feel comfortable and work on their fitness goals. At Planet Fitness, you will experience a squeaky clean gym that has tons of equipment, a full body workout in just 30 minutes, and all memberships include fitness training. You get all this for just $10 a month. No matter where you are, there's Planet Fitness nearby. Check out Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and WoodwardSports.com. Thank you to all the fans for making Woodward Sports your #1 online destination for Detroit sports. We promise not to drop the ball.
What up, Woodward Sports? Dispo Dispensary is bringing you the ultimate experience for the big game in Vegas, and they want you there. You can win 2 tickets to the big game, plus a flight, hotel, and accommodations by following these simple steps. First, follow dispo.michigan, @ShowMedicated, and @ShowMedicatedCBD on Instagram. Like Dispo's pinned post, comment and tag someone you love to bring. Plus, if you repost on your story, you get an extra entry. It's that easy. Join the Dispo family for a chance to score in Vegas. The big game awaits. Follow, like, tag, and repost now.
Feel alive during Feldman Chevrolet's biggest New Year's sales event ever. Get the best prices on our huge selection of award-winning Chevrolets. Like this 2024 Equinox for $188 per month. Or this 2024 Silverado for $268 per month. It's the New Year's sales event going on now at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Baby, because since 1996, Feldman Automotive has been driven to provide a first-class automotive buying experience. They call it the Feldman Advantage. They have over 18 locations, so there's got to be a dealership near you. Just visit FeldmanAuto.com to find the location nearest to your home. You can also catch Woodward Sports there every other Monday at their Novi dealership when they host us there. It's part of what makes Feldman Chevrolet Detroit's #1 Chevy dealer. Here we go, coming down the clock. This is it. This is the end of tonight's show. We got a little mailbag section for you. My name is Matt Broder. This is Detroit Kool-Aid, a.k.a. Brandon Dent. Or flip that around, Brandon Dent, a.k.a. Detroit Kool-Aid. We got
Sometimes
Nick in the
I
sound
don't know
booth.
which way it is.
Either way.
Yeah.
Hey, I know.
Go
Kool-Aid.
both ways,
You are
huh?
the original Kool-Aid. Nick, KG, we got the whole crew here. Ask us anything. We're going to start with Eduardo O'Neill. He says mailbag. Lions play 5 first-place teams next year. Dallas, San Francisco, Houston versus Tampa Bay, Buffalo. Is it reasonable to expect them to go 4-1, 3-2, at least in those games? So we got Dallas, San Francisco, Houston, Tampa Bay, Buffalo. Those are some good teams. And Dallas is in Dallas. What do you think? I think it's reasonable to at least go 3-2. I think they're good enough to go 4-1. I got to see how these other teams improve because Buffalo's tough. Tampa Bay, we got to see. They're probably going to bring Baker back. Houston should be getting better. Really, Dallas and San Francisco are the kickers. What do they do in this offseason? Do they reload? I don't really trust
4-1.
We can beat Dallas.
4-1, that's a reasonable expectation for me.
Yeah. I think we're definitely beating Houston, Tampa Bay, Dallas, and then it's...
Especially
for what the start of that schedule?
Yeah.
This season?
Especially if we're 1 seed hunting, we got to be able to take care of that gauntlet.
Yeah, I don't know, man. If this was the start of last year, then yeah, we look at this schedule and we say, man, that's tough. But with who the Detroit Lions showed us to be, go out there and back up all of the talk. Go out there and back up all of this. Yo, we're the hunters. We're the predators. We're showing up on your front porch. You don't got to go far to look for us. If that's the rhetoric, then go out there and absolutely make light work of this schedule. I don't think that this schedule is something world beating. if this was last season, especially when we were marching into that Dallas Cowboys game, that was something where I was like, okay, this to me is going to be the litmus test. Are we a real team? And as you saw how they handled some of these squads that the national pundits in the playoffs thought were going to give us some fits and give us some troubles, it was like, no, they had the perfect game plan. Honestly, in all of their all three of their playoff games, they had the perfect game plan. Rex Ryan said it as well. Like, they were absolutely scheming San Francisco out of the playoffs, man. Until they made a couple bad decisions, and ultimately that defense caught up with them. It's a situation where I'm like, you know what? I want to be confident in this team. I don't want to see the squad kind of go in reverse. I don't want to see them come into the season feeling as if, wow, man, we got a tough schedule. You guys are the big dogs now. You guys are the big dogs in the block right now. Mm-hmm. It's like, be that this year, man. Be that. I want to see them start this season. Last year, what they do each quarter, they went like almost 3-1 in almost every part of the season. That's what I want to see them. I don't want to see, man, are they going to go another year without back-to-back losses? Who knows? Who knows? But I want to see them go out there and kind of re-up what they did this past season.
Love it. Love it. Lion Fan 222 says, Woodward, you said the night shows are going away. The night show is getting put on a temporary hold. We are moving to the morning show. We're revamping, rebranding. Kool-Aid, KG, and myself are going to the morning show. Nick is going to the heavyweights to handle their sound, so you will see us. But yes, Lion Fan. Eric Burrow, mailbag. Is there a possibility we can keep the majority of the Lions superstars? That's a great question. I think they can. As it stands, the thing is, if Brett Holmes keeps hitting on these draft picks, there might be too many superstars. I think they are going to have to make a decision on sort of that second tier of superstars, whether that's Kirby Joseph. I think they're going to sign Hutch, Amon-Ra, St. Brown, and Penei Sewell are a guarantee. Laporta's coming up the path. It's going to come down to a guy like Kirby Joseph. Jack Campbell still got 4 years because he was a first rounder. We'll see. I think they can do it. I think they can do it.
Yeah.
I got one from the away fan right here, fellas. What's been the best part of Woodward nights for each of you, and what's been the most challenging? Broder, since you've been here from the start, let's start with you.
You know, honestly, it has been, this is going to sound cheesy, it's been working with you guys and working with Booner, who was here before. We just had such a great time here. There's less people in the building, so it was a little less pressure. Just we got to come here and be ourselves and try to put on a show for you here in the primetime hour with Monday Night Football and Thursday Night Football. It was a blast. Those are also some of the challenges. For me, just on a personal level, just getting used to the sleep schedule. I'm so wired after these shows. Like, I'm tired, but I can't sleep. When do I eat dinner? When do I go to the gym? It's been an adjustment. So just adjusting to that has been the hardest part for me. But I wouldn't have changed it. This was such valuable experience. Getting to know you guys in the chat, getting to learn how to host. There's so much more I have to learn, but it was such a great, 4 months? 97 shows. We're going to have 98 shows tomorrow. Man, it's been a ride.
Yeah.
Nick.
Yeah, I think the best part for me has been getting an opportunity to talk sports behind a microphone and getting paid to do it. That has been a dream of mine since I was a little kid. So getting an opportunity to do that with this group in such a magical Lions season was a blessing to me, 100%. And the hardest part about it was trying to find time for sleep with working a full, because I have a full-time job, and trying to find out when you can get those little naps in. That was the hardest part for me, but I was able to find like a pretty decent routine with it.
Yeah, and you know what? We got Morning Woodward Show alum Kennedy Broadwell in the chat.
Let's go.
He's talking about one of the most supportive people, one of the more kind of diehard as it relates to this media thing. This media game. Shout out to Kennedy. She also asked, what's Kool-Aid's favorite cheesecake flavor? Actually, it's Kool-Aid flavored cheesecake.
Stop it.
I'm dead serious.
Seriously?
I'm dead serious. Look, you remember the Cheesecake Shop? Did you?
Cheesecake Factory?
No. We had a cheesecake shop. Yeah. My family and I ran a cheesecake shop for a couple years. Actually.
Way.
Wow. Yeah.
And you had a Kool-Aid flavored cheesecake.
We had Kool-Aid flavored cheesecake as well as what we called the half pop, and that was my wife's creation. It was 1 part cake, 1 part cheesecake, and it was amazing. Covered in either milk chocolate or white chocolate, and it was like, yo, man, I'm hungry, bro.
Hold on, what flavors was that Kool-Aid cheesecake in?
Oh, we either did the blue raspberry or the what flavor is the red one? like fruit punch, I think it was. Fruit punch Kool-Aid, and then the blue raspberry one.
If I were to exchange monetary favors, would you come up with a blueberry cheesecake for your boy?
You know what?
Or any kind of favors.
You know what? We're going to have to try and make that happen, man.
For
Especially
sure.
for this morning Woodward show. This
For
new, whatever it's going to
sure.
be called, we're going to have to definitely do that. But shout out to Kennedy, man. She was a real good person, man.
You know, I had never met Kennedy in person. She just interviewed me this weekend for some pre-Lions stuff. We've become friends just in these last couple of weeks. Kennedy
Nice.
is freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Real
TG,
good
did you have
person.
anything to add? I think we're probably good here on Mailbag.
Yeah, I mean, y'all said it perfect. The easiest thing is coming in here every night with y'all and just having fun, having conversation. Y'all make this so much easier for me, man. And it's fun, man. This is something that I've always, thought that I could do, and I'm here now. The hardest part is just learning how to be on camera all the time. I'm used to being a behind the scenes guy. For everybody that don't know, I was at Channel 7 for about 6 years, and I worked in operations and as a video editor. So I was always used to being ducked off, but getting to interact with y'all and all the good people in the chat that have welcomed me, man, I love it, man. And I just enjoy every day that I get to come here and get paid to do this. So, yeah.
All you in the chat, hit the like button if you know, like I know, that this man should be on screen. He needs to have a mic in his hand.
Stop it.
No more behind the scenes for you, my guy.
I'm trying to hide from y'all, man.
You're a future star. You're great on that mic. We're all getting better here. Appreciate the support. We will be back tomorrow.
This is it now.
Let's go. There we go.
There we go.
Thank you all. This was Woodward Nights. We will see you tomorrow at 8 p.m., 8 to 10. Tomorrow will be our last show. Come and hang out. We're going to have some fun. Have a great night. Toodles, my G's.
Yes, sir.